Good evening, party people and fellow teens. I hope you're all doing out there well. On the tip of how we are keeping it real here in the Play It Forward lounge of the Loading Ready Run Special Entertainment Network. I'm Beej. Tonight we are playing more Betrayal at Krondor. I'm having a good hair day. Apparently, if I look at myself in the thing, I'm like, yeah, goddamn, yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah. I got out the hairdryer and was like, well, let's just, why don't we just lose our minds? And here we are. First up, I hope you guys had a great tabletop day. Glad to see lots of people showed up, got to do the things, and I'm gonna talk about some of the things that we do at the top of the show because we do this for money, and you know that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go from the VOD channel to our main channel, youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. And you can sign up for YouTube memberships, and that is a way to monetarily support the channel. You can also do that on Twitch here as well. Twitch subs, Twitch bits, and in fact, I think this month, the month of Pride, you're getting deals, and I haven't really looked too carefully into them. I was told it was like 50% off your first sub, 20% off any gift subs you give. If that's the case, go look at it first before you do things. But yeah, I will thank everybody who does bits and subs at the end of the show, though, so we don't have to be doing that all throughout the show, and besides, it's just easier for me to go, do this thing. Also want to thank, I should say, the patron, all of you patrons. Everything we do is brought to you by you, and you can go see patrons and join them on patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. That's a huge chunk. 2,500 people. I have no idea how many we have for subs and we have 4,100 subs on Twitch. That's a lot of people too. But the people who are following on Patreon, I appreciate everything you're doing as well. And when you guys are helping us out by backing us, that money is going to a whole bunch of people, and it is paying for the rent at the moon base, and is paying for the rent for people's houses, and is paying for food on people's tables and electricity all over the place where electrons go. And that's you doing that for us. This is a cool job that we have, and I'm glad that you appreciate that you're gaining some value from it. And I also want to mention the store.loadingreadyrun.com is the place where eventually you will be able to get the Season 11 DVD set and Blu-ray set. I know that we have some extras. I just don't know how many extras we have. And when we have finished ensuring that everybody has gotten what they're supposed to get, then we will put the rest of these up on the store so you guys have an opportunity to buy them if you didn't get one when you backed in the Kickstarter. But if you did pre-order from the store, I think we got all the pre-orders from the store taken care of. If you had right? Arrow being points it out. We got to 11 before Windows did. We got to 11, I think, technically just after Big Sur. No, we got there before Big Sur as well, so that's pretty good too. If you backed the Kickstarter though, there are some of you that backed at like multiple tiers. Back when Kickstarter wasn't doing multiple tiers, you basically just said, well, I'm just going to put in an extra whatever for this other tier, or an extra for this tier and this tier. And the problem with additive math is that Kickstarter did not tell us every single time you put stuff in. Kickstarter tells you, here's the tier that this person pledged at, and then here's everything extra that they put in as well. And I'm finding now that makes it very hard to tell. Did somebody back at A tier and then wanted to back at the DVD tier? Did they back at this tier and back at the all everything tier? Did they back at this tier and this tier and this tier and this tier, and therefore they weren't looking for a DVD? And so we're kind of like, it's a little complicated to sift some of those things out. So if you knew that you wanted to get a DVD but you didn't get contacted, we need you to contact lrstore@pmcfulfillment.com, lrrstore@pmcfulfillment.com, and let them know that it's like, hey, I did back at an extra amount. The intention was to get this. We can back up whatever it is we need to back up out of that. But contact them and let them know if you were intending that you had intended to back to get that in the first place. And there aren't a lot of people who did, but I just want to ensure that we have enough left over that we have enough for everybody who needs them. Cool. I feel like that's everything I had to mention so far. There will be more announcements as the days go on, I'm sure. There's always things to bring up and point out to you guys. But we are only a few minutes in, and that's good. I think I got all the talky talks out of the way before we get into actually playing Betrayal at Krondor. We are saves 5 and chapter 6, 71. Let's hear how the volume is. I wasn't listening to the audio, so seems pretty good. And I hope everyone is doing tonight. Doing tonight. I hope you're all doing tonight. I am doing tonight as well. It is super nice to have you all doing. There's music. So we should all be able to hear stuff. All right. Where we left off last time, we were just outside Malik's Cross. We sure are. We're going to head to the Temple of Limbs Kragma, and we're going to... Actually, no. Wait. Hang on. We are going to the Dimwood to drop off a sword. Now, the fastest way to do that... The Temple of Sildon is right here. We cannot cross directly to Sethanon. We have to go around a bit to get to Sethanon and go through. To go all the way to Sildon and then go north and come in is a bit much. So maybe we will just walk around to Sethanon, go in, find a box, drop it off, and then we'll come back out. We'll come back out and then head to Tanner's and Eggley, and that'll be fun. Because I think we have to go to Eggley first, right? Yeah, because you would have gone up to Tanner's and up to Eggley. So we're gonna whip around like that. Excuse me. Anyway, it is dark. But we can travel by road. And now we can sleep a bit. Travel by road some more. All right. Are there any... Yes. Perfect. A great time to get off the road and click on a well. Yeah, you betcha. I'll drink from that. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? Or don't it? You'll be right as rain in no time. Thanks for your patronage, boys. Thank you, Flar. You're amazing. Should put you back on defense and melee. And a wonderful time was had by all at that location. Now, if I go... Oops. There we go. And we'll just get back on the road. I don't know if we skipped anybody to fight. Doesn't look like it. I do like that the developers did think about putting people in putting more enemies in every area you can get to because you can. I really don't feel like we need this Glazer's guild seal, so we're just gonna leave it because who cares? Yeah. Oh, and while we're at it, let's bloop our blades. Do that. That seems pretty good. Let's just let him fix his own stuff. And I did. Oh, hell yeah. 69, dudes. So there might be fights along here, even though I don't think we're expected to see any. This is so-and-so's house. Yeah, no one's about. This is the Nia's Tavern. The Six Toe. Let's bard. 62. Six toe. See how that works? Six toe. Hi, Nia.
Company, how lovely.
Welcome to the Six Toe Tavern, and oh, hello again! I haven't seen you since you came through last. You were headed towards Krondor in quite a hurry, as I recall. Oral, wasn't it? And your elf friend here was Thorgath? What? Oh, yes, Thorgath, certainly, but my name is Owen. We were passing back through, and I thought we'd stop in for a rest or something to eat. If you're rest you're after, you're more than welcome to have a seat, but all my food's been requisitioned. Requisitioned? By whom? By the Krondorian Lancers, or at least that's who the captain said they were. He said that the prince requested that I turn over my provisions for them. They compensated me for my travel course, 1,000 sovereigns. Congratulations! Any plans for your newfound wealth? No, not really. I think I'll just concentrate on tidying up things around here. Maybe find a dashing young seigneur or baronet who needs a rich mistress. Where do I stand in line? Oh, Owen's a flirt. Nice. Sorry, but I already have someone in mind. Let's say I make it up to you with a bottle of port. Obviously, I couldn't let the soldiers take everything, so I kept a few bottles to sell until I restocked here. Why don't you take a look at the stock? One bottle sounds good, doesn't it, Thorgath? I could use something to get the dust out of my throat. Certainly, that would be no problem. Not certain that's wise, Owen. Oh, posh, I'll fetch your bottle from the back. And yet, there are still rations to be had. Do we need any of those rations? And we could stand for... We got 14. We could stand for another 14, I think. Put those on Owen. And everyone's back up to 14. And we're not going to buy any ale. Talk to this guy. Gambler's got no money. Talk to this person. Pathetic street hawker. We have done this one already. Talk to this guy. Where are you headed? Any place interesting? Freebooters, then. Yes. So, tab. There is no place to stay overnight, but it's fine. I feel like Owen is supposed to be a more of a player avatar character than either of the other guys. I have this sense that it's like, because he's kind of the young one who doesn't really know what's going on. He's kind of cut off from stuff. It feels like I've always felt more like, oh, that's who this guy is. Maybe it's just because I also like I would in these kind of worlds. I'm like, you get to be something, not just a peasant. But what are you gonna be? And I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna beat people up. Probably gonna be a wizard, I guess. All right, so Nia opens up the store. It's all Nia's goods. What's she got? She's got rations here too. I like how it's just very simple. Like, I have 3 torches. You know, I don't have the full torch set, but I have 3 torches. We don't need to sell her anything, I don't think. Just, hey, how much for this? Yeah, no. It's like, what are you gonna do with that 1,000 sovereigns? I'm gonna buy a kick-ass sword. I should sell her that grief maker back is what I should do. That'd be funny. I do wish that you could, I mean, I guess it's not really that important, but it would be kind of neat if you could just bed down in a, in somebody's, like, an abandoned house. To be like, you go into these houses where, like, nobody's been around, and it's like, well, you have an option of, if you want to sleep here for the night, you can, and you take your chances with what you might find, but there might be reasons to do it, right? Like, you might, like, you roll the dice on it and be like, oh, actually, that was cool. I, dug under a floorboard and found, like, 10 sovereigns or something. Or some bed bugs come out during the night and made it kind of like a miserable night to sleep through or something. Or because you stayed inside, you stayed out of the rain, or, maybe you did something else. You found a practice loot and you looted a bit, and that was like a nice thing to be able to do that just kind of like calmed everybody down for the night. You could also just camp normally, obviously, and... Did I miss the turnoff? I might have missed the turnoff. Let me just see here. I think I might have, actually. Let's just go forward a little bit more. Staring into the barn, Gorath thought he could make out the forms of a cow and several small sheep. He also thought he heard chickens, though he wasn't sure exactly where the sound was coming from. Made him think of Covey's fine author. Come on, we should be going, Owen said. I feel like we missed the... Which is weird. I guess we didn't. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Wait, this is Sethanon. Sure. Not much left of it, after all, but... There are a bunch of spoiled rations, I bet. Yep. We look into a crevice. Yeah, standing on the rubble of Sethanon's ancestral keep, he was shaken by the sight of thousands of mortal bones which had been used to fill the gaps into the undergrounds. However interested he was in finding out what lay below, he had no desire to burrow through the moldering bodies. Okay, we'll just get back on the road here. I feel like I'm looking for more of a proper... Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere except something behind there. Yep, just the ashes of fires for dudes I fought a while ago, I guess. Or they're, it's this near to Sethanon. Ah, because there's a fork. Okay, so this road leads to Krondor in the west, though I believe it also forks to the north and leads through the Dimwood Forest, which would be best to go. We're going to go north. The Dimwood. For days they moved in mist, the moisture soaking into their clothes and chilling them by night. When at last the mountain sloped downward, the fog lifted and they found themselves standing at the edge of a great wood. Now, where are we, specifically? I guess we're just in the Dimwood now. Okay. And what we want is we want a couple of places where we could put stuff, which might be... Wait, did I pass it already? There's no way. I did pass it. There's a box. Okay, so we have a word lock box here. Klaput. You must keep this thing. Its loss will affect your brothers. For once yours is lost, it will soon be lost by others. You must keep this thing. Its loss will affect your brothers. For once yours is lost, it will soon be lost by others. Its loss will affect your brothers. So we have a T, an S. Temper is good. Oh, it's got to be temper. It is! Look at that! And we've never been here before, in fact. So we have a spy note. But that is important. Apparently we're supposed to run that back to Abbot Graves, and we never did. We were right near Malik's Cross as well. So hang on a minute. the guide says, I'm just going to go back to the guide here and look. You go see, right. If you go back south to Malik's Cross and finish the Abbot's quest, avail yourself of the chapel's teleport function. Why not go all the way to Kenting Rush? Sure. Then go to Kenting Rush. We've done that. And it's like you've been performing all these other things to do, but at no point did we actually like finish the Abbot's quest. Yeah. Does it even say to go back to the... There's just so much other stuff that's like... That doesn't say to go back to see him. What the shit? Okay, cool. So I think we have to go to Malik's Cross anyway. We'll do that. We'll get to a place and do that. So I can't deal with that. We're gonna drop this off here. That's fine. Mortal wordlock boxes tend to be more safe than everything else anyway. I don't know if any of these other boxes in the area have a have spy notes in them. Oh wait, I gave him the thing. Ah. Well, we could sell those. Not sure why. At least I know now where I can go get some other stuff if I need to. And there's a wait, no, dead guy. And some Silverthorn antivenom, which we have lots of anyway. A wrinkled hand pulled open the door. Yes, croaked a little man. His frail voice cracking with age. Owen smiled. We don't mean to bother you, sir. What news have you of this area? The old man dropped his head and tears welled up in his eyes as he spoke. Do not be deceived by what you see. The man before you is well less than half his apparent years. If what you say is true, how could this have happened? Asked Gorath. It is true indeed. I was trapping east of here. Had stayed about a month when finally when I suddenly found myself growing weaker by the day. I decided to return home, and during this journey I spotted a black-robed man with a snake-like face. Do you think he is the source of your problems? Questioned Owen. The man sighed. I wish I knew, but now what am I to do? How shall I eat? I left behind my only iron jaw trap. I would be ever so grateful to have it returned. You shouldn't be effective if you don't stay long. With a concerned look, Owen turned to Gorath and faced the man again. We will see what we can do, he said. What quest is this? We need to get this dude his trap. We'll put another bookmark down. He said east of here, right? So, I mean, yes, thank you, Thraxamore. This quest is about traps. Yes, I appreciate that. Okay. Maybe it's over here. That sword sucks. I don't think you get more of a bonus for polishing something that's nearly dead, but let's see. Put a hell of an edge on that, didn't I? Arclight, I might need you to tell me. Let's have a look around first. That's just, The small dwelling was abandoned. This was more a shelter against the wind than anything else, Owen said. Looking around, he commented, judging by the shape it's in, I'd say no one has actually lived here for some time. And you have spoiled rations, probably. Yep. Oh. Look through the spyglass at them. Ah, there's some things down there. How about this? Arclight, if I continue in this direction, am I getting warmer or colder? Warmer or colder? And you know what? We have so many extra things. Let's drink. Good. I'm glad to hear I'm getting warmer. Thank you, Arclight. Gorath. Closest in on this guy. Should have picked somebody else, but oh well. Pick that dude. Gorath will attack this guy. Maybe I'll wait. Gorath will attack this guy. I'm gonna get real ballsy here. Just wanted to get a shot in. All right. Safe for the moment. Why not? Owen doesn't even have room to carry anything anymore at this point either. He can't be repairing armor. That's too bad. Gorath's got all this room, but even if I give up 2 things, it's not going to be enough. Not the powder bag. What would I give him? Probably this. Yeah, still got 1 left there that I've got to deal with. Well, you can carry the spy note for now. Time to start working on that armor craft again. You have 10. You have 24. Oh, damn it. Slide that back. Do this. Do this. Polish that. Throw it on his body. No, we don't. Actually, wait, hang on. We should get back up to 14, I think. I'm very shocked to look over at my dashboard and see that 853 viewers are now watching. That doesn't seem right for some reason, and I feel like I have to fix that. But I'm just gonna refresh that. It just feels like they've lost count somehow. Nope, there really are that many of you here. Awesome. If you are new to watching Play It Forward, it's where we play a game a lot, basically to completion. And the way I play games to completion is I play the hell out of them backwards and forwards. It is not always just me doing it, though. This is a loading ready run wide stream. We just have a whole bunch of people drop in here to do things. But we'll be playing all of Betrayal at Krondor until I'm done with this, and then there will be a new game after that for somebody else to step in and play. It is definitely a turn-taking experience. Can't do that. Could do this. I can do that. Look at that. Move that spy note over to him, and we'll move this over to here. I need to get rid of that goddamn spy note. All right. Now there was a hill behind which there was some stuff. It's over there. And Gorath has a spy note, right? He sure does. Just a shell. Just a shell. Nope, that's it for that. I like how I came over here before when I had 3 guys in my party and I was terrified that I was going to screw everything up somehow. Now I'm here with 2 dudes on a much later point in the game where everyone's probably gotten a lot more powerful. To wit, here are some of those things. And I'm just like tooling around like, I'll be fine. Gotta make some Dalatail milk here pretty soon too. Which sounds so dirty. Gonna start with you then. Apparently we're rolling initiative really high, which is awesome. Now, if I was Owen and couldn't cast any spells, what would be the first thing I would do? Well, we've never tried the powder bag against these guys, right? Apparently it works. All right, we're not here to screw around all day, guys. And let us bloop that, because we hadn't done it already. Christ, no. We never open anything without telling if it's trapped or not. It's safe. You're 88, he's 81. So even with help... Holy shit. Eliam's heart uses 6. Slightly larger than the bald fist of a grown man, the hunk of reddish chalcedony, sure, was free of marks except for the obvious letter inscribed on the smooth face. In legend, such stones were said to possess the power to summon a Rusalki lover. Goddamn Rusalki lover. Though Gorath gave little credence to the claim. Chalcedony. We went over that, haven't we? Yes, thank you. Now, there were a couple here, weren't there? Yes, there should be another one. There should be another thing for me to click on. Oh. Owen stumbled. He fell to one knee as a wave of nausea swept the length of his body. His head still swimming, he climbed slowly to his feet and turned to the others. There was something very strange about this place. For a moment, I felt as though a great force was reaching up through the ground and sapping my strength. I felt something as well. It must be the strange force that Craig spoke of when we spoke to him. Who the hell is Craig? Perhaps we should turn back until we can discover the cause. Well, let's turn back. Craig is the trapper. I mean, I knew he was the trapper, but it's like, he didn't introduce himself as Craig. So, at this point, I'm guessing I go back. Like, nothing bad seems to have happened. Am I supposed to let me ask the question then, because I think Arclight, you might know. Am I on fire? Am I so hot that I should be able to see the trap that I'm looking for from here, or am I still quite a distance away from it? I cannot see it, but are very near. Okay. Well, let's go see what that is, and then I guess I'm going to have to go over there. On the other hand, I have no idea of the magical effect. On the other hand, I have no idea about the magical effect, Arclight says. So, we're going to drop a bookmark. We're going to walk northwest. Is it still going to be a thing? It's like, that's your last warning? Is it just that one area, I wonder? Some stuff up there, but there's that stuff down there. Okay. Owen's stomach hurt. He tipped back his head and gritted his teeth, trying to fight back the nausea that he felt well up inside him. All color drained from his face. He drank in the air in big gulps, only expelled again, a short burst through his pursed lips. Nearby, he heard the sound of retching, but didn't care to turn and look. It was enough to know that he was not the only one who had been down with the sickness. Cool. Thank you, everybody. So we probably can't go into that area. Can I go up? Oh, Arclight says, I now know what to do. Okay. Oh. Those jackasses. We can definitely burn a healing pack right now for the two of them. That's not a problem. We're still juiced. There we go. I really snuck up on him. Evil Seek. When you're absolutely positively not fucking around. All right. They are a little stronger than I thought. That's going to be a problem. Can we drop this guy? Okay. Oh no. He's running away. Whatever shall I do? Can I hit him from here? Let's see. Oh, I can't see him, that's why. He ran off. Forget it. How is Owen doing? Not bad. Not great. Oh, that's good. Those things wet up. How about camping? No, we'll wait a little longer. That's good. Men seize it from its home, tear apart its flesh, drink the sweet blood, then cast its skin aside. Orange? Apple? Awesome. After the final fire, the winds will blow, and these which are already dead will cover the ones who have yet to die. Acorn? It is not. Can't be leaves. Let's see here. After the final fire, the winds will blow, and these which are already dead will cover the ones who have yet to die. Ashes. Oh. Hey. Well, be ashamed to just not use that immediately. Let's see, what's in this area? 2 there, and then 2 over there. So we're going to go down slightly and turn to the east. Sorry, west. Blessed are the first, slow are the second, playful are the third, bold are the fourth, brave are the fifth. Child? I like that it's brink. Frink. Crink. Boink. Oh, hang on. It's Blade. Blessed are the first. That's the B. Slow is the second. That's the L from slow. Playful is the third. That's the A from playful. D, bold fourth. Brave, E, fifth. It is a journey whose path depends on another's vision of where it ends. Book? Oh, Glory Hand. Now, we're not using Night Fingers ever, so I might not need to be carrying that around. But nice to see where one is, I guess. So we beat up some Pantathians, and if I head directly south, I could get into that little area where there is supposedly something awaiting us. See, we've been walking around for a while and we haven't thrown up yet, right? So I'm like, I think the effect is only over a certain area, and it'll probably get bad when we get close to it. So I'm going to drop another bookmark. I could certainly see it being like, you start throwing up and you're like, I'm not coming back here. I don't care what the hell's going on. I'm not coming back here. What did I miss? It's right over here. Oh, that. Are these his traps? Iron jaw traps. It seemed like a great deal of complexity to waste an animal trap. Modeled on the trebuchets used by the Draquigian army, it sported a counterweighted fulcrum to which had been attached a barbed head. The whole mechanism triggered when an animal ate from a baited plate. So you eat the thing and it's like kunk. I feel like animal traps feel like they have to be way faster than that. Interesting that they put them in boxes here, but I feel like they have to be like way faster than that, or else you're gonna risk having the animal move. So it must move incredibly fast. Oh, the game does not seem to tell you, but the Pentathians were causing the sickness. Killing them allowed you to go here to get the traps. Thank you, Arclight. So I had to kill them anyway if I didn't want to get sick. I saw him where he never was and where he could not be, and yet within this place I saw a wavering face staring back at me. Pool? Moat? Moo! Sorry, headphone users. Mokja. Lol. I saw him where he never was and where he could not be, and yet within this place I saw a wavering face staring back at me. Lake, you say? That could be good. That's what it is. Don't need any of these things. Not that I'm ungrateful, just I don't need any of these things. Winds of Aortus. Oh, yeah. I don't have that yet. And look at all those awesome those. Let's just leave these here. We'll move, let's see, move that into here. And some normal rations, which we could use a little bit of. G-Dwarf, who I guess is has not seen the game up until now. That's cool. It is the Wordlock boxes because the Mortal race, which is one of the three. There's three Elvish races. There's the Eladel, the Moradel, and the Glamradel. And Gorath here is a Moradel. He's he actually is an eligible claimant to the throne in Sar-Sargoth. He could take that. And his during the Rift War, a bunch of stuff happened. The betrayal part is that he has come down from the north to try to free his people from Delacon's thing that's happening and warn us that there is a fight coming, a big war coming. And he can read this language that these boxes are written in. The Mortal language. Rough in its construction bound with iron, the Mortal box would be impossible to open without solving its word lock, and judging by the marks on his face of the chest, others had learned the lessons after much difficulty. Well, he can read it. Now, there are spells you can learn. There's a spell called Union that Patras knows. He's another magician in the game that can cause you to learn you'll know how to read Mortal language at that point. But you can straight up just keep spinning the wheels until you eventually get there, so... Vector 0, interesting. Technically, they're the same. Returned Moradel or Glamradel. Interesting, all right. Everyone offers this thing, but few will take it when it is offered by someone else. Man, I do like prayer as an idea. Eduardo Zone says, I want a game where magic wands take 9mm bullets to work. Well, if you're looking for a game where you're a wizard that shoots guns, might I recommend Wizard with a Gun? Let's see if prayer works. I think that's a pretty good guess. Because Pardon is also good. I like that. And look, see, it's not that. It's not Pardon either. But yeah, I have to go with Advice. Everyone offers it, but no one's willing to take it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Some rations, don't need any at this point. Some really good quality whetstones in here. I'm going to take one of those. Praise is also good too. I like that. I mean, some people will take praise though, but by and large, advice is one of those things that people tend to not want. Or they'll ask for it and then you'll give it to them and they'll be like, thank you for telling me your thing. I do that all the time where people are like, hey, can I suggest a thing? I'm like, absolutely. Please suggest a thing with the understanding that I might not do whatever it is you think I should do. Oh, look at that. There might be Pantathians still around here. Somewhere. Ah, the puzzle worried him. Though they had escaped alive, he was still bothered by the presence of the Pantathians in the area. He had no liking for the serpent folk, and their presence in the kingdom so near the battle said to Sethanon unnerved Gorath a great deal. What do you think the Pantathians were after, Owen? Do you think they were rooting around looking for something? With the Pantathians, who can tell? No one in the kingdom knows exactly what they want, but they seem to get mixed up in nearly everything that's got a bad ending. My guess is that they were trying to channel the strength they were stealing into something else. Maybe they needed power for a spell. I'm none too comfortable with the thought of that. I felt their powers when we entered this area, though I didn't know what it was I perceived. At least we have come out of there none the worse for the wear. I imagine that Craig is beyond help. It's a good thing we didn't remain a month as he did. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel almost normal again. I, for one, am glad to have the whole affair. I'm glad the whole affair is over. So Craig is just going to be an old man from now on. Shit happens. But we'll return his traps. And certainly that should be good enough, right? We did a nice thing, I figure. Owen knocked on the door and waited for a reply. After nearly a minute, the door cracked open, a gnarled hand finishing the task. Have you brought my iron jaw trap? Asked the old man in the doorway. Yes. Owen nodded. We have, he said, producing the trap. Bless you, sirs, wheezed the man. I hadn't the strength to retrieve myself, and without it I would die of starvation. Trap in hand, the man went back inside his house. He returned a moment later with a something clutched in his fist. This is for you. He dropped a golden ring on Owen's upturned palm and snuck back into the house, closing the door behind him. God, more shit to carry. Ring of the Golden Way means that my stealth is like out of control now. I think it is. It's not scouting that does it. I think it does stealth. Hang on. My scouting and stealth are still 93. 81. 53. Okay. 66. All right. I mean, he could give it to Gorath to carry, and then he would have he could basically see through time at this point. Scouting plus 15. Oh, this quest is in Chapter 7 of the Help Web. All right, well, we did it. Now, I have an extra trap. Do I just drop it in that box? Completing this quest also does a different thing according to the Help Web, which the game did not tell you. Oh, cool. Can't wait to find out what. Turn around here. We're going to go to that box that I opened a little while ago with the Sword of Limbs Kragma in it. I like that in a kind of fun way, the temper box is the one with the really powerful sword in it. Remember to keep your temper. Do you promise? I promise. Great. Have I got some shit for you? You're gonna love this. Anything else I want to drop off for the men of the future? They can have some of these as far as I'm concerned. I gotta make more of those. I could definitely have to make more of those. We're at a chest. We could probably make more of them right now, in fact. Great. Bloop. And give that one to Gorath. Because why not? I'll take the 20. Actually, you know what would be good? None, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Why not leave them a little extra? So I'm guessing, Arclight, if when I get to chapter 7 and I read about this quest, it'll tell me what it is in the help web. So I don't need to know about it now, and that's fine by me. Thank you for confirming that. Then I guess we will get a move on. We have dropped off this sword. We've done a quest we weren't supposed to do now, but it doesn't really matter. We've taken care of it ahead of time. And we want to go west towards Egley at this point. Yes. We've gone to the Dimwood south. Any Dimwood combats with combats carried over from earlier chapters. No new combats in Dimwood chapter 6. Maybe leave that sword of Lim's Cragma. Wherever you go, make sure you end up near Krondor. Okay. So we want to go west. The trip was dull. Only occasional cold draft to chill their bones as they moved through the pass. It was a relief to finally feel the more temperate winds typical of the southern reaches of the kingdom. There. We camped. Let's have a look around. Ah. There's a place to go. Head directly west and click on a house. Put down a bookmark. We were greeted warmly. People like us. They're like, hey, look at that dude and his elf friend. Like, hell yeah, my elf friend. So we don't have to go to Tanier's at all to do this. What we're looking to do is to do, because like take the road to Egley via Tanier's. If you haven't already done so, visit Tanier's. You can get the Horn of Elgon cocoon from a locked house here. Now I have already done that. I don't have to do. There's a lot of like stuff south of Tanier's, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. Don't need to worry about that. We can just get on with this part of the quest. Ah. Look at that tree over there. Lower limbs all been hacked off. That means someone's about to rumble us. And Owen's scouting went up because Gorath noticed, and Owen's like, oh, yes, oh, yes. How are we again on? We're not juiced. Let's, you know what they say? Juice. That's what they say. When in doubt, drink all the potions in your backpack. Hell yeah. Hang on, did we make it through an ambush without getting caught? That'd be pretty good if that was the case. I would rather have the fight, though. We're at Egley already, alright. A man answered Owen's knock. His face was flushed, and there were beads of sweat on his brow that threatened to race each other down his face at any moment. He was breathing heavily. You've come about them, haven't you? He asked, wide-eyed. Well, after several long minutes of careful probing, Owen was able to ascertain the man believed he had released some evil spirits from a couple of the local graveyards. From a couple? The more he spoke of his dealings with the undead, the more frightened he became, until at last, shivering violently, he closed the door and retreated back into the relative safety of his house. Oh! Great. It was for nothing. Ah. Well. Can wait an hour. Remember the stranger? 187 sovereigns. 187, yo. All right, barmaid. Right, single day's rations, which sucked. Mercenary demanded ale. Initially suspicious of Owen, he began to loosen up as his drink took hold, speaking eventually at length about his colorful career as a Midkemian freebooter. So how did you get the scar, Owen said, commenting on a red slash which traced the man's jawline. Escaping from a Queegian press gang? Yes, this whole thing about going to the Macmordain Cadal, because looking for the Brocknur. Brocknur. And this is the failed love affair, dude. Gambler's got no money. We can in, but I do want to talk to what's-his-face. Devin spat, evidently less than pleased with the hand of solitaire pokier that he dealt himself. He glanced up at his newfound patrons who were milling in the doors. Seeing Owen, he gave a half-hearted grin. I'm not sure if I like this town any better now that the people are coming back. Now it's all I can do to find a minute to think. Price I guess you pay for your dreams. What can I get for you? Some news? Anything of interest happening around here? Seems business around here is picking up. We already got our first new full-time resident. He's as mad as old King Roderick. Really? Why do you say that? I discovered him out in the graveyard clawing up a grave. He'd already broken into one of the coffins, but I guess the body had already decomposed because there wasn't anything inside the box. After I got him cleaned up, I took him to one of the houses and I put him in bed. I'll need to check in on him later. If you'd like to pay him a visit, he's the last house on the right before you leave the town heading north. We did. We'll be off now, I think. Things to do. Want us to keep spreading the word about Egley? I think we have quite enough people at the moment. I'll be glad when we finally reach a level somewhere between a ghost town and a city. Should get your wish someday, Devin. Thanks once again. I like that this guy's turned into, you know... This is... Oh, we don't have to do any of this. I like that his thing now is he just wants to settle down. And we're met at the door by a friendly couple. That's nice. When he introduced himself and greetings were offered all around, he sat and traded stories for several minutes, then rose. We really must be going. You've all been very kind. You have been very kind. You have all been all things to all people. Ah, open this building. Owen frowned, peering through the hole in the inner workings of the lock. He saw nothing within that gave him cause to be enthusiastic about his chances of getting in. This lock takes a very special key and is clearly not pickable, he said. If we want in, we'll have to find the key. Nope. I know which one it is. I just want to use all the other ones. We know it's got to be Nivik's key, right? Or the Royal Key of Krondor will open it. That'll be great. Okay, here it is. With a pleasant click, the key turned in the metal lock. Let's take a look at what's inside, Owen said. Thankful his key had worked, Owen pushed the door aside. Open. Whatever. Shit, let's keep reading. Inside, they found a variety of objects, including an assortment of papers and ledgers, a writing table, and a small bed. Stooping down to examine the papers more carefully, Owen saw they were tax records of some kind. He also found several notes that had been signed Stellan. Search this room carefully, commanded Owen. We may find something we can use. I found a note. I like notes. Read the note. The mines of the Mac Borgalan Dock are hereby deeded to Medjakar Blackpatch and all wealth therein. A section of the caverns which were sealed by a special door which may only be opened with this map, a magical spell having been put upon it. It is just a note. So, a specific mine deeded to this person, and then there's caverns sealed by a special door and only be opened with this map, so we probably need the spy note actually to do it. And that's it. Place is abandoned. They might be sleeping. We could sit here and wait until morning. Why not? Nope. So... this other mine, we've heard this name before. I'm gonna look at the Sarth. I'm like, we've heard the name before. Oh right, it was Sarth. That's right. Okay. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I do have to take a break, so I will be back, and we're gonna make our way. We can from here. It feels like, now that we've been up here, we can, if we went down this way and over to Sarth, that'd be a way to do it. We could also go up through Quester's View and down this way. We could also just go up to the Temple of Silden and warp down to Sung and then walk up there. But if we go to the Temple of Silden, we can also warp to Malk's Cross, or rather warp to near here, drop off that note, then warp to the Temple of Sung, and then go up to Sarth. And I think that's what we're going to end up doing. So let's first put a save down. Save game. It says save game at the top. I want it to say 72. And we're just going to... You know what we're going to do actually might be fun? Oh, wait. Is it early in the morning? Oh, we can't go inside. I was going to go into the nice, fun music of the other place. But we're just going to leave ourselves here for the time being. And I'm going to go to commercial. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we've returned. More Play It Forward here. Betrayal at Krondor as it is. Nice to see everybody in the chat. And all the people who left their stream playing at home and probably aren't looking at it anymore. not to be terrible about this. I've seen what my numbers have been for other parts of the Play It Forward, and it's great that everyone's hanging out. Probably more people than normal. Very glad to have you all here, in fact. So I'm being a little self-deprecating just for the fact that it's like, wow, those are some high numbers. But please keep hanging out. We will chat. No one's about. Anyone in the barn? No one's in the barn. What do we do from here? We need to get to... If we get on the road... God. Didn't even see these guys. Well... I need you to stay where you are, sir. Just because it's funny. Oh, there's a guy way up there. Okay, this is less funny now. I thought there was a dude there. I don't know why. Oh, I'm not enjoying any of this. Sai, you have that. Gorath, you take this guy out. And definitely do that run around him just like you did. That's good. We're going to confuse the hell out of him. Really? From there, you're going to try to hit me? I mean, you did, but Jesus. There we go. Oh, it's not a shower of blood. It's a shower of sparks. When the red comes out, that's naphtha, I believe was the idea. It's as opposed to the flaming arrows give off like yellow and orange sparks. The naphtha is supposed to be like red. So it's like, yeah, it's another way of representing flame. I mean, Owen could get back to polishing armor, which is his favorite thing to do in the world. He loves it. He can't stop doing it. Alright, I guess I should probably renap my sword while we're at it. Did that one. Is there a means by which they did all just lie? Oh, there we go. Everyone's spread out. There's a great, I had this CD called, yes, a CD, that I download off the internet. So an album, I guess, technically. It's called The Best of Lesbian Comedy. It is an absolute hoot. And there's just a great bit that I don't know her name. Because the thing is, all I got was like 1.mp3, 2.mp3. So I have no idea who most of these people are. But there's a great bit that one of the comedians does where she says, it's so weird to see that you have, like, on the East Coast, you have this concentration of all the gay people living there, and then on the West Coast, the same thing. And it's like God looked down from the heavens and saw the United States and screamed out, "Gay people, get to the sides!" Like it was an emergency. And every so often... so that's just the bit. That's the joke she does. There's a lot more in the joke, obviously. But my brain hears that a lot. Just from time to time, I just hear this woman yelling out, "Gay people, get to the sides." Whenever I have to, like, split something in half, I hear that in my mind. I'm like, that's not... I don't want that right now. Stop it. And yet, it happens to me. So, yeah. It's a good bit. It's the whole CD is really good. All right. See, if I just stood over here, I would have seen... Wait, there's 6 guys. Who did I miss? That dude's not the same as that dude. $99.82. Ah, okay. No, we did get everybody. Cool. So we're going to go west, and then we're going to turn north. Oh, more guys to fight. You know what that means. Time to get crunk. And we know these already had one of those. Yep. Oh, did we... When we re-fired his sword... I guess I should probably... get that Sarig's Bane on there, too. Oh, cool. It gives you double effects when you use it. Ah. Neato. They were being watched. Okay. Well, we did not get there, I guess. You can stay there. Gorath cannot close in on... Oh, she's going to just go over here anyway. Wow, you guys have a lot of movement. Really? Well, I mean, I shouldn't be upset that there's a lot of guys in the game who definitely want to continue to rely upon their bows. Owen then gets that dude to just stand still. When he hits that guy, Gorath just it's like, no. There we go. Owen goes after this guy again. And Gorath is another nope. He's like, no, 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 no. That's good. That guy runs away a little bit more. And there we go. His abilities have increased. Oh, I see. That's why. 65%, that's good. And you have lived long enough to have gone up a bit. But boy, could we use a bit of a camp, I guess. Well, that's all right. Bang, bang, bang. I will definitely need a laid-back camp after this. You're absolutely right. All right. Seems weird to me when I see expensive swords being carried around by rogues and stuff, because I'm just like, I should take that and go sell it, right? That's what I should do. I only have 8,500 sovereigns and I'm never going to spend them on anything. Might as well take all of these keys. Excellent. I think that's everybody. I think that was everybody. I mean, yeah, they gave Nia like 1,000 sovereigns for all of her food. And she did just say, like, I might just go be a rich mistress to somebody, you know? It's like, okay, that sounds cool. Let's see here. We do want to go north, as if we were headed to the Dimwood. Did anyone have any decent rations? Not you, apparently. Which one of you was tasked with carrying everybody's food? You were. I'm glad we are building this. We're continuing to build this narrative of... Did we go in here? Can we? Is this the one you can't go into? Yeah, passage was blocked. All right. We're building this narrative still of the blacksmith bandits. I like that name. That's a very good name. How close are we to... Getting pretty close. The Temple of Silban. Anything they wanted to say to us? No. She can't come at the moment. Otherwise occupied. Thanks and gratitude for having helped us in the past. Ask you for forgive her this discourtesy. Goddess bless you. Okay, let's just read the whole thing. They waited. After an uncomfortably long wait, the High Priestess's plump assistant emerged into the courtyard, her face high with color. The High Priestess sends her regrets that she cannot come at the moment, Belandra said with a respectful bow. She is otherwise occupied. She sends her thanks and her gratitude for having helped us in the past and asks that you forgive her this discourtesy. Goddess blessing on you, gentlemen. Oh yeah, I like that Arclight, that we've become a magical creature that you would scare your kids with. It's like, this is why you don't want to become a rogue. Okay, we cannot obviously get to Malik's Cross still. We'll go to the Temple of Ruthia. That's fine. And then we'll warp to Sung after that. I might not be able to see, but let's put a bookmark down. I like that we started at Malik's Cross and we just didn't do what we should have done. Talk? An acolyte fetched the abbot. In a few minutes he appeared, the look in his eyes wary like those of a beaten dog. Shuffling forward, he spoke quietly to Owen. Have you spoken to Mitchell? He has a plan that he believes will work. He sent along the details. Tactics, tactics, tactics. Always tactics. A justified end to my life as an abbot, I suppose. The priest brought down by the pawn. The circle closes. It's not too late to do the right thing, Abbot. You have a chance to strike back at the crawler. You can tell me how to get the relic so he doesn't gain it. Tell me how to get the Book of Macros. Book of Macros? I've never heard of it. I transcribed quite a few of the books that came from his library when we left Midkemia, but I believe I would have remembered reading a book by that title. I know very little about that magician except for what is written in Pug's or Thomas's historical commentaries on the Rift War with the Tsirani. No, the crawler was after a magical sword that was reputedly lost near Malik's Cross in the dim past. Personally, I don't believe the Garde Revanche is anything but a myth. You just mentioned someone named Thomas. Who is that? Thomas? He's war leader of the elves in Elvandar in concert to Queen Aglarana. He was very close to Pug, as I understand, and believe he also spent some little time with Macros. Perhaps he may know more about your Book of Macros. I want to keep saying macros, but yeah. It's a lead, thin bit's a lead. Thank you, Abbot. I think we have a book to find. Perhaps we will meet again under happier circumstances. Unlikely, unless you set your feet on the road to Kesh. I imagine that's where I'll go next. Goodbye and farewell. Kesh is it? Good luck. Right. We can in.
Mind the door.
Thank you, Ivan. Killed any snake people on your way in? If so, pile up the bodies by the door and I'll skid them for a pair of new boots. What can I get for you? Nothing. I just wish to stay in your inn. Innkeeper! Yeah. Sign me in for the night. No, we'll stay a little bit longer. I do like that there's so many of these guys and they were all like shot in different poses. Like I need to stand like this, I need to stand like this, like do all these things. That's kind of fun. Anything we want to sell? I don't think so. So, God willing, this doesn't end the whole thing, but let's see here. Don't know where... The attendant priest looked nervous. Probably a boy of no more than 14 summers. He gawked at the strange visitors to the abbey. I don't know where Abbot Graves might be. Last I saw him, he was hurrying off into town. I'm not sure when he will be back. Never. Teleport. To Temple of Sung. We'll go to Sarth. Anything worth talking to? Fire was everywhere. Yeah, no. It's all the same thing. We're all done there. We are not juiced. We should probably take a moment to juice. Hell of a thing to run into. Just, you know. Great. That one Goroth can get to, so let's try to keep some of these other guys in control. Just gonna have a fight. You didn't want to mention the giant scorpions just walking around outside your temple? No? Okay. Take that guy next. Gorath's got this one. Owen will go over here. Gorath will fight that one. Owen's gonna get a shot in at least. Or not. He swung. That's something, right? It's like he tried. Oh, and their strength went up. Nice. Good for Gorath. Nothing to take off the bodies. That's fine. Anything behind us? Nah. So we need to go forward to Sarth. Thought I saw something. I guess I did not. Aha. Oh. Got kind of rumbled about that, I guess. Move over here. I'm gonna send Gorath right up the middle. That's good. Oh, I should have put stuff on my... whatever. Lots of guys. You're powdered. Whoa. I really wanted to leave that archer in place to just kind of maybe keep hitting his buddy. But this is good too. I've been poisoned. That guy's a good archer. Is he this good? Can he survive this? He can. That was purely because it was purely me getting back at that dude. That's all that was. Excellent. Oh, wait. Owen's still on that. I could carry that. Make some room for Gorath to start polishing weapons again. Why not? Bloop. I should start poisoning their swords with the spider before I go. We found this, everything they had was poisoned. It was really weird. But like carefully poisoned? Like they didn't bother to, and it was all like brand new? Yeah, we are not going to. Maricat points out that wiki rollover for strength is 256. In order to get that high, I would have to be doing an awful lot. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure there's actually a way in the game to do it. That guy just did nothing, apparently. Yeah, wow, look at that. Or we fixed it already and I didn't realize. We're going to walk into Mark, aren't we? I'm not sure that I could actually fight enough guys in the game. Because, again, there's no respawn, right? When you fight dudes and they're gone. Oh, wait, no. You can fight... There's those rogues you can fight over and over and over in certain parts. It's just endless battles. Right. Which, of course, I don't want to do because it's like... The idea of I want to make myself incredibly powerful, sure, that seems appealing. I already feel like I'm pretty powerful. Like, I don't feel like I have to do a lot more. Are we full in Poshonoxo? We are. Okay, never mind then. Okay. This is where it all starts to pay off. All the training, all the hard work, all the hours and hours. Oh. Just magically found a lump. I actually won't even grab that stuff, I don't think. Not really much of the point when I have, like, as much as I do have. I have the full stack. Hey, Brother Mark hove into view. Still wielding a hoe in his hammy fists, he gestured to Owen with it.
Yes, sir.
We got to hear his voice for the first time. That's kind of nice. I would advise you to stay well clear of Sarth. Our brother Dominic has fallen ill with Queegian fever. Why didn't anyone treat the fever before it became serious? None of us knew he was infected until this morning. When he woke this morning, he reported to the Brotherhood's herbalist that he was experiencing dizziness. It's one of the early signs of the fever, but I wouldn't be overly concerned. Queegian fever is rarely fatal to adults. It's not the fever's primary effects that concern me. As Keeper of the Gates, Brother Dominic is the greatest wielder of the magical arts among us. Should he begin to hallucinate, he may lose his capacity to discern between real and imagined threats. He might view other members of the Brotherhood as enemies, or perhaps he will see a threat in the outside world. We know from Pug of Starduck that things of this nature can occur when magicians fall ill. No one can break his fever? I'm sure the herbalist will do what he can, but our best hope resides in Brother Dominic's iron will. Until such time as fever breaks, the Abbey of Iship at Sarth will be a fearfully dangerous place, and I would advise against going any closer. Was there something you need from the Abbey? Mine. My grandfather used to tell me stories about the chambers beneath Sarth that he said were once part of a rich dwarven mine. He called it the Mac Boogalan Borgu... The Mac Borgalan Dock, I believe it was called. Yes, at one time it was quite an impressive emerald mine. He suggested that there still might be tunnels that connect with those directly beneath the Abbey. If you have any of the old dwarven maps or deeds, we might be able to get in through the old mine. Cool. Unfortunately, those maps are not in the hands of the Brothers of Sarth at the moment. We gave it over to the assistant tax collector who lives in Eggley, a fellow named Stellan. I understand that there was some confusion in regards to how much the Abbey could be taxed because of its connection to those old mines. You speak to him, I'm sure he could show you those documents. At least it sounds like a way we may be able to re-enter the Abbey. Do you know anything about a book of Macros? Macros. Of Macros, no. About Macros, I know we have a few of them in the vaults, most concerning the legends about the Villa Beata while he was living on Sorcerer's Isle. We might also have a few things by him in there, but I couldn't be certain without checking. Tell me about the vaults. Can we go in? Brother Anthony will be pissed off at you. Same as always. Pixel Art Dragon asks if we did we see Nivik's body outside of Krondor. We saw a body of a man with Nivik's key, but Nivik was still in the tavern, as the Maricat said. We'll try our best to find a solution, but we have another important matter to attend to in very little time. What happens in the circumstances that this Brother Dominic begins to hallucinate? I cannot say with any certitude. My assumption is that he will activate the mystic defenses. If that occurs, there may be no access to the Abbey at all. At least it doesn't sound like as if he will pose a life-threatening situation. If we come across anything that I can think could be of help, I promise we will return as soon as we can. In exchange, do us a favor and stay out of Dominic's path until this problem is solved. Goodbye, brother. So, we did definitely go. We did an interesting way of getting around because apparently there's a lot of fights to be had, like north of Eggley, going through Quester's View, like coming around that north end. But because we warped down to Malak's Cross, then warped over to Sung, we get to follow the north path where it's like, oh, there's some. We did not run into the warriors and the spellcaster. We found the. Like, the Temple of Sung is now guarded by 4 scorpions. Guarded, huh? Yes. They will leave you alone unless you approach the temple, huh? Yes, okay. And then there were the rogues that we fought, and then we talked to Brother Mark, and he says you can only go in via the mines. You can only do it if you're holding the map found in Stellan's Eggley office. You probably visited the mines before. If you haven't, get some armor. Yes, whatever. And then it's like, go into Sarth. So we are going into Sarth. We were going to put a bookmark down first. When I took a break, did I actually put a save? I thought I did. So we can't go in to the the Abbey. Everything says enter. Everything says enter. So we probably just get to go in the one direction. Light blinded Owen. Screaming, he arched back from the doorway he had been about to press open and covered his eyes as if averting some great horror. Stumbling backward into Gorath, he trembled in the warrior's grasp. He trembled in the warrior's grasp. Magic, Owen gasped at last. Terrible, terrible magic. It was like he was like looking into a nightmare. Someone has warded the door. Releasing his hold on the boy, Gorath stared at the doorway doubtfully. Is there any way you can banish it? Owen shook his head. No, it is far too powerful. We will have to find another way in if we are to enter this place. So, probably can't go in here. Same thing. Here. And we're going into the large cave. And now we are in a cave. And now I can see what's in the cave. Which will be helpful because I don't actually know if there's anything new down here at this point. So what we do know is that, I mean, we have been down here before. And unless there is a means by which to get out of here, it's funny because there isn't any description about what it is that we're looking for down here. It's just like, oh, you'll just get into the library, and I'm like, thanks, good job with describing what this whole thing has to do with. I guess we can go to we'll go to our right first, so we can go into this big room. I don't see anybody in this big room. I see a few boxes. We've opened some of these boxes before. A box beneath a tree, inside some tasty meat, kept for a month or more. It still tastes just as sweet. Trying to remind myself about what this one is. Box beneath a tree, inside some tasty meat. Kept for a month or more, it still tastes just as sweet. So some sort of container that's beneath some sort of tree or pole. Oh, walnut. That makes sense. Thank you very much. Arclight, don't tell me yet where I'm going. We're gonna just walk through Sarth and figure this out. We've already opened the trap, apparently. Apparently it blew up, I guess. We've done everything we need to do in this room. And there are no other exits. There are no other exits. I guess maybe I will ask this one question, Arclight. Am I supposed to be down in the mines? That's a very simple yes or no. Alright, ought to be down in the mines. Okay. We're gonna go east. I don't think there's any pits down here. I remember the Trade Mares box where we found the Grey Tower plate, which I believe was through here. Yeah, there it is. Right, we took off Loki's armor and did this. We're headed south still? No, we're headed west. Ah. These stairs must lead to the Mac Borgerland Dock Emerald Mine. These tunnels are very complicated, but with the instructions we found in Stellan's house, we should be able to make it through. Shall we try to find the library vaults? Yes. Gorath nodded. Together they climbed the moss-covered stone stairway that led to the mines. Need to work on that lead thing. Bits of rock and splintered wood covered the dirt floor, making it difficult for them to walk, but they picked their way through the rubble and after nearly an hour came to a wrought iron ladder piercing a dark hole in the ceiling. The rungs were rusty, and metal splinters ripped at their hands and snagged their clothes, as though trying to deny them egress from the mines as they climbed upward. The ladder ended up in a small wooden hallway, thick with dust and decorated with silky strands of spiderweb. A door at the end of the hall opened, after some effort, into a huge room stuffed with books. They had been heard. Assembled in the book-lined passage were 6 priests, all keenly interested in the arrival of the 2 strangers. From amidst them, a broad-shouldered priest stepped forward. "Your presence may explain a great deal," the priest said, stabbing a finger in their direction. "We have been unable to leave the vault since this morning, and we found the doors bolted from the other side. And since I find it unlikely that our brother priests of Iship have chosen to starve us to death..." "It's not like that at all," Owen replied, waving his hands. "We ran into your brother Mark when we coming up the road. He said that one of your brethren has fallen ill with a queaking fever, and somehow his condition is linked to the passages being blocked." "The mystic defenses?" one of the other priests offered. "It is possible his delusions may have triggered them." Quickly, a debate ensued between the robed priests, finishing at last with several brethren scurrying off to the shelves assigned for their examination. With a stern look, the angered priest also pointed to a shelf and directed that Owen and Gorath look for anything that mentioned the mystic defenses of Sarth or outbreaks of Quegan fever. Hours passed. His eyes aching from reading the nearly illegible handwriting of ancient scribes, Owen leaned his head back against the ancient shelving. "I have no idea what we're looking for, Gorath. I've run across a half-dozen references to this abbey, but then I discovered it has something to do with experiments with peas or an account of a new system of organizing these books." A sound drew their attention. At the end of the book-strewn passageway in which they sat, a priest eyed the disorganization with distress. "Why are you still down here?" "Still looking for the answer," Owen said. Vaguely he gestured at the half-dozen open books around him. "Haven't found it." "Oh." Biting his lip, the priest seemed pensive about continuing. "Well, I'm afraid we solved that problem about an hour ago. Brother Dominic is doing a bit better now. We were wondering where you two had gotten to." Angered, Owen slammed shut the cover of the book, which he held in his lap, a translation of Dorcas's treatise on the animation of objects. "Oh, we've had that book before." Likewise, next to him, Gorath stuffed away a wormy-looking book on history. Be good if that was Thifil's bird migrations. "Keep it," the priest insisted before Owen could put away the magical treatise. Dorcas's is popular here. We have other copies cross-indexed in the library. I was also instructed that once I found you, I was to reward you with these. Opening a pouch, the priest handed them 3 nearly perfect emeralds. "They are yours, in appreciation for all you've done here. It's a small gesture, but I hope a useful one. Please feel free to continue to scan our library if it please you." Yes? No? Healer's journals? No? We did this already, right? So there is the exit back into the mines, I believe. It's neat that there seemed like there was something there, but there actually isn't. Right. Well, there's nothing else here that I think I need to read because it's just too many books. We can't do things. This tells us about how you need to go find a priest or have a prolonged rest or something. Owen pulled down a book. "A text of interest?" Gorath asked, looking over his shoulder. Owen tapped the words on the spine. It's a journal written by Pug titled "Regarding Theories of Transspatial Gateways Proposed by Macros." "Do you believe this is the book which we seek?" "Look at that." Responding only with a shrug, Owen began to leaf through its pages, discovering immediately the majority of it was a technical document filled with diagrams and columns and numbers with notations off to the side and a curious shorthand. Whatever the book contained was far more advanced than any of the things he had read on magic thus far. He might as well be writing in Keshian, Owen said, shaking his head. While searching for an index, he discovered a small addendum which related a few of his conversations with Macros. "This is interesting. Something to help us find Pug?" Gorath questioned. No, but something that might lead us to someone who might know something about this book of macros, Owen replied with excitement. It says here that someone named Thomas Magerson of Ilvander once traveled with he and macros. Perhaps this Thomas fellow would know something about macros or his book. We knew this we had this clue already because of the abbot, but if we hadn't done the abbot's quest, at least this would have led us in the right direction. Smiling grimly, Gorath's eyes held a dark humor. You intend then we should enter Elvander? They will not be well pleased to see the likes of me. Why is that? Owen asked, putting the book back on the shelf. The kin of Queen Aglarana and those of my blood are enemies of old. None enter Elvandar itself save those sworn to her or considered the most intimate of friends, he said. It will not be an easy journey. Chuckling, Owen patted Gorath on the back. After the past few months, I can't imagine this trip being all that difficult. Besides, we'll be back close to where we met near Lamut. I believe there may be a way through to Elvandar near there. Remember the Macmording Cadal? So this one again was a unsung purity, healing, whatever. Hang on a second. That was a different book then that I picked up. Oh, they're all different. Every time you click on it, it's a different talk of Kahuli starving themselves to make themselves worthy of the temple. Ishep, the god above all. Difficult to understand, it was written in bare legible hand. Setting it aside. After an expansive description on Kahuli, yeah. This is wild. I had no idea that it was just different religious stuff. I didn't realize that. You click more than once, it cycles through some books. That's so cool. Gorath smiled, pleased to find something in the vaults which appealed to his interest. He thumbed through a book which apparently had something to do with combat techniques. Gorath scoffed as he began to read, realizing the author had little or no idea about the actuality of fighting hand-to-hand. Disgusted with it, he shoved the work similarly back into its slot from which he had pulled it. Examining the shelf full of volumes, he muttered to himself, there must be another book here more helpful than that one. Well, let's see. Highly specific in nature, it dealt with a variety of tactics for dealing with an enemy when they resorted to various ballistic or magical tactics. While he could understand most of the ideas involved, he realized it would take several months of practice for him to master any of the more advanced techniques. I love that it's like, there's all these great books, but they're not of any use to us, that they won't raise our stats just by standing here and reading them. If it may, so this is the first paragraph of the book, if it may at all be arranged, it is best to confront your enemy on a battleground of your choosing in such a way that you have the element of surprise and command any set pieces which might mean the turning of the battle. If, however, your opponent has command of magical or ballistic means, it is always a better stratagem to close range so as to deny him the ability to load his weapons without obstruction. Anything else? Same thing as before. Written by a magician, the text was rather muddle-headed when it came to the idea of various tactics, depending far too much on information gathered by spies or certain formations which rarely worked as well as they looked on paper. Mixed in between a rather prolonged discussion of magically enhanced siege engines and battlefield enhancements, he did manage to find a useful snippet of information which he could relate to Owen. A rather simple tactic first applied at the Battle of Kars against the goblins was the use of this spell, sometimes known as Invitation. Thought of as a mere prank by studying magicians, it became quite effective during the battle when Althafane used it to drag a band of the Dark Brothers into a trap, which they had devised. Yeah, I think we probably looping around on some of that stuff. Having expected by the title to find a book about Dala the Protector Goddess, he was surprised to find that within seemed to be registered the names of people who regularly attended services of the temple. Also included was a special page which seemed to be a proclamation made by the priests of the Temple of Dala. We've read this. It was about the Half-Gates. So we just found this thing about the Half-Gates at a great little time. I want to find that Limbs Kragma one again. No, I guess it seems like if you've read all the books, maybe they... Who knows? Really. Owen scowled. The books arranged before him all concerned theories of finance, a subject which his father long ago exhaustively bored him with. All right, let's see. It's just a ledger. Numbers that didn't add up. He placed it on the shelf. Again, another bunch of that. A pitiful remnant of what was what once was a wonderfully scribed book. Numerous pages appeared to have been ripped out whole, leaving only the ragged remains at the edges. Disheartened, Owen glanced quickly at what was now the top page before closing and returning to the shelf. Many make the mistake of believing that a general goods store will offer the best prices on jewels. In practice, it is far better to sell to a store which has emeralds, diamonds, and rubies on display. Ha! A very new-looking book. Owen had selected something titled Strategies of Trading, Volume 2. Just below the title, he noticed a special note which had been glued to the face of the tome. Rare! Because we have the first one. This is the second one. Flipping through the pages, tables and charts of numbers confronted him, most of which he supposed would take him weeks to understand, time he didn't have to waste. In the center of the book, however, he did manage to find something of use. A centerfold. At the suggestion of a colleague, I have decided to include here examples of the finest shops in the kingdom, examples which illustrate my point rather elegantly that good attention to finances will allow the shopkeeper to offer the lowest prices without sacrificing significant profit and ensuring a reliable returning clientele. Dabe's fanciful trinkets near Cavill Keep, Roots and Herbs in Prank Stone, Arms of Dala in Wolfram, Kingdom Goods in L'Oreal, The Mercantile in Darkmoor. So, if I remember correctly, if I can get into the Sarth shop, I can buy the better. I can buy a replacement staff for Owen. So we're gonna do that if we can. But this is cool to see that these are the best places to buy stuff in the game if you're interested in saving some money. And Arms of Dala, absolutely. Anything else? Nope. Healer's journals. Quickly, he felt himself drawn to the book. Apparently, a journal which was kept by a healer who had traveled with one of the larger military companies of Borden. It actually dealt very little with the actual practice of healing. It did have a few useful bits of information. In comparisons, it seems that herbal packs by far offer more beneficial effects, but only in as much that they will do more for the injured in question over an extended number of days. Usually, however, my patients have been near death and in need of the more immediate healing effects of restoratives. So, nice to find more information overall. Here we go. The newest volume on the shelf on which it was located, the book concerned itself solely with the administration of a new anti-venom created by a Father Nathan of Krondor. Following the unfortunate events which transpired shortly following the ascension of Arutha Condoin to the princedom of Krondor, unfortunately, since that time, border barons have seen a proliferation of the use of this poison, now harvested in mass dosages on the shores of Moralaine and elsewhere within the Northlands. If there may be said there is any good in this, it is that the new strains of silverthorn now used are significantly less harmful than those used to wound Princess Anita 10 years ago, although many scholars have been speculating that perhaps only the nutrients in the soil near the Black Lake give the plants its lethality. The true cause of the shift is unknown. Fortunately, in the case of the princess, I was able to formulate a silverthorn antivenom which may be taken internally to neutralize the poison, and it may be that I can make it into a treatment that may be smeared on armor to neutralize the effects of any silverthorn poison blade which comes in contact with it. So that's, I guess, to let you know early in the game that silverthorn antivenom exists, and if you get poisoned, that's what you would use, and you can also put it on your armor. More a book of home remedies and folk cures than anything else. There was little in the book about which he had not heard. Practically speaking, the only advice it had given of a practical nature was that it was better to sleep indoors in an inn while sick rather than toughing it out on the hard, cold ground. Okay, so you get better in an inn when you're sick. Anything else? Just to think about... Should we read the thing about the restoratives? This is just about restoratives. These formulas may help speed the healing process for those who have suffered near-fatal injuries. Oh. Of particular interest because it had been actually written within the walls of Sarth, the book was designed as a quick manual to instruct the reader on how to deal with the critically injured. Immediately as may be performed, the injured party should be confined to the locality of an inn or other place they may spend the night out of the night's humors. Once bedded, it is advised they be administered 4 doses of restoratives and an herbal treatment. Provided they are left undisturbed for a period of 3 days, the chances are reasonable they will recover from their near-dead condition. Aha! That's cool. 4 restoratives, herbal treatment, sleep for 3 days in an inn. Okay. I feel like... Oh, this is the magic one. You're not allowed to read these because they're magic. They are restricted, and every time I try to do it, I will not be able to do it, I bet. I have some feeling that's going to be the case. So if we exit backwards, the temple is available, the shop is available, which means I can buy a new staff. How do you not have enough room? Oh, you goddamn. No. Well. Because we have these fucking emeralds. And a book I don't want. That I don't even need, actually, at this point. I'm at 100%, so I can just sell this book. Oh, you fuck. Sure. But my safety emeralds, he said. If I need those fucking emeralds for some other point in the game, I'm going to be very upset. Okay. You can have that book for now. I'm going to buy a lightning staff, and I'm going to haggle and pay 10-20 for it. Because it's a weapon, so it's not a thing. And I'm going to sell this. Sure. And, of course, there's no emeralds here. And I don't think we need any of the scrolls. I think we have everything we need, so. Cool. Oh, sell and buy back the staff in Lamut. Well, in Lamut, he might not take the staff because the staff is a magical thing. So I'd have to sell it at a store that's willing to take everything. That's the library. We can go to the temple. Let's go in and talk. The abbot came quickly, a man of advancing years. His hair and beard seemed like a snowdrift, starkly in contrast to his dark skin, which was wrinkled like carefully crafted mahogany. Shaking Owen's hand, he greeted them as if he had known them all their lives. Welcome to Iship's Abbey, travelers. I am Father John. How may we be of assistance to you? We thought while we were passing through that we would come and visit the famous Abbey of Iship at Sarth, Owen said. You've done impressive things here. And the abbot's eyes crinkled as he gave him a prideful glance. We hope to do more. We've only begun our work here, but thanks to Brother Anthony and Brother Mark, we have come a long way. Owen bit his lip. Nope, this is all the things. This doesn't help. We can't do anything here. We still can't warp. And I'm pretty sure that because we have done all this, I can actually leave here, so that's good. Okay. I'm going to save, and we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to read a bit of the walkthrough again, just to ensure that I know what my next step is. And I think we're going to leave you guys on the Twitters, the tweeting and tweeting, because that's fun. So stick around. Even more Betrayal at Krondor on Play It Forward after these commercials. And back to Play It Forward. We are heading north of Sarth. We're going to walk up to the Macmordian Cadal is the idea. And apparently there's lots of fights to be had on the way. We could also just warp, because we can head back to the Temple of Sung, and we could warp to the Temple of Killian if we want to avoid combats and stuff, but nah. I think we'll be fine. Sure, we'll be fine. How else will I get my armor craft up to 100%? I see people are talking about the crap. I see people are talking about our dice trays in chat. We do have some very nice dice trays. Of course, we are currently out of Purple Heart. And then I see P.M. Avers mention that there was some talk in one of Wormwood's last video blogs about how they're looking to retire Purple Heart. So we might not ever offer more Purple Heart ones But we are out of Purple Heart ones also, so I guess what there is left to buy is what there's left to buy. We'll see. Who knows? Brother Mark. Like a moth to the candle flame. What about Sarth as you so quickly back here? Fucking nothing, my dude. Thorgath and I still we're still calling you Thorgath, right? He doesn't know? Okay, cool. We need to just bid you farewell. All right. Travel under Ish's blessings, young one. We will try. Thank you. Goodbye, Brother Mark. We need rest. It's funny seeing all the memes right now for wood being incredibly expensive and just people like I think it's hilarious because it's like it's such a I love niche memes. And I especially love a niche meme that's like very particular on like there's a dude who posted like I've got a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood asking $800, no low balls, I know what I have. And of course that's the classic like there's a guy who put a thing up for sale and he's just way overpricing it. Obviously, that's what's going on here, and yet that's what people are like paying so much money for. Okay. Do I just... I could sell it at a store probably. Maybe I'll just do that. Who gives a shit? Alright, we agreed to attack. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah! It's first thing in the morning, and what I feel like doing? Kicking the shit out of some bad guys, I guess. I think you're gonna be a problem. Gorath thinks that, you're gonna be a problem. I guessed wrong. I guess that means you're going to be a problem. And Gorath's going to just straight up stand around. Everyone wants to be a problem. I guess everyone does carry... It seems like everyone is just kind of locked themselves into carrying around... crossbows and whatnot at this point. No, I'm gonna hit you again. And I'm gonna hit you again. And Gorath's gonna come over here and engage. Yeah. Everyone in chat, not everyone, but Arclight and Maricat sharing lumber memes. I've been enjoying. Thank you for that. Now, surely. Yeah, we should have room to do the doom. Doom. Stealth went up. Bloop. Oh, that's a nice whetstone. Shame something would happen to it. I mean, technically has more charges than all my other ones, but I'll come back for it. We'll polish everybody else's stuff with my slightly used up one. Just smash the infinity pool with that hammer. If that was a function that they built into the game, that would definitely be like the upsetting making function. Hell yeah. It's nearly perfect armor. And we'll grab that, just to be sure I have that. Okay, and then we'll throw that one on him. And we'll continue north. Find a body. Still no one's bothered. Everyone cleans up all these other bodies, but nobody picks that one up. Ah. Oh, we decided to split up. Okay, that's good. It's good. Nope. Fixie. Didn't even bother to take off the training. Just... Oh, I have used up that hammer. That sucks. I guess when we get to Quester's View, I'll... Actually, how good was that dude's? That's repairable. 17. It's 20. I like the idea that these guys all just went to the... They all went to the store nearby. You know, think about them all like it's just a bunch of dudes traveling around together, like on a road trip. Be like, yeah, we're gonna go down to the kingdom, and we're gonna like beat up some guys and prevent shit from happening. We're just gonna like hang out, and it's gonna be fun. It's like, you know, best night of our lives. It's like, oh shit. It all went horribly wrong. Didn't think so. Just keep going north. Pierce Perry's weapons. Do you like books? F. Ah, yes, it's where we dropped off our crossbow. That's pretty good. And we sold some back. We had made sure he had bowstrings in stock. Nothing I want there. Are you an inn? Nope. Are you an inn? Nope. Was there an inn down here anywhere? There was. 75 here at Babon's Hostel. Where are you going? Freebooters, yep. Barmaid. Barmaid. Oh, we have used up quite a few of... we don't have to buy them all just yet. Oh, weird. Because when a common room falls discernibly quiet, it means the locals expect there either a fight or a tale, Owen muttered. So which is it to be? Looking down at the counter near his elbow, the man sighed. Seeing as how I've left my sword at home and I've only a butter knife at my immediate disposal, I suppose a tale to pass the time would be more prudent at this juncture. Mostly his stories were about battles, large and small, fought sometimes for fame and glory, but always for the coin of the right color. He had traveled up and down the Kingdom of the Isles, but never had he found a minute's peace in any place that he slept. When at last he had come to the conclusion of his storytelling, he thanked Owen for listening, then stumbled off looking for something closely resembling a bed. I guess the dude was trying to pick a fight? Yeah. The man didn't look happy. He don't talk much, called a voice from the other side of the tavern. He's a pretty somber fellow. Folks call him grim because he never laughs or smiles. Another voice said he's pretty much a fixture here at Babbins. In fact, we often have a little fun with strangers. We'll give you 80 sovereigns if you can get Grim here to laugh. Care to give it a try? We never got the joke, did we? Or did we get a joke? I thought we got a joke and then we came back here to do it and didn't fire. I can't remember. Just do it anyway. Right, it was all these three things and none of them worked. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we just weren't able to get it done, but anyway. So now from here, if we continue this way up towards Zun is where we're going at this point. Yeah, something in that sequence broke somehow. I don't know how. I also don't know why. About to have a fight. Time for a Donnybrook. Now we've slept, which means we need to drink more Ovaltines. Saying try again? Okay, well, why not go back and try again? Spoon doesn't work. Body doesn't work. Ship doesn't work. Oh, try again at Lamut to learn the joke. That makes sense. We're going to Lamut anyway, yeah. Alright, so there's a fight over here. $95. $95. Oh, there we go. I grab my powder bag. Grath takes this guy out. Owen's got a target, so he just sits there and targets. All right. We should have enough. We can get back on the training table here. Yeah, I think I remember now. The Maricat, as you said, that we couldn't get the joke for so well. Okay, so it wasn't the dwarf that was supposed to tell it to us. It was Sumani that was supposed to tell it to us, as Arclight points out. And that I think is our problem, is that for whatever reason it seems like I swear we were taught the joke, like Sumani taught us the joke, and we just something didn't twig. I don't know what. Largely, I'm sure it's only 80 sovereigns, right? Like, I don't think anything unusual happens as a result. It'd be very cool if something did unusual happen. Because that's, I mean, the whole reason to do these things is not just because it's like, oh, I got some money from it. Brand new hammer, you say? It's my hammer. It's 4 charges low, but it's a brand new hammer. God, just want to turn around and sell that. It's like, look at the nice stuff. Every time I see like the really nice swords and the really nice armor, it's always like, I should definitely just stop doing this, I guess. And don't need anything. Do. There are wagon tracks on the ground here, but something's not right. They look fairly old, but the marks are too thin. Ordinary wagon wheels are about, say, 6 inches. These couldn't be wider than 3. There could be an ambush ahead. If we proceed in this direction we're currently heading, we should do so with great caution. All right. Somebody, may his tribe increase. 98%. 96 for Owen. Ah, that was Shanty. No, I want to have the fight. Come on, you pricks. I want to ambush them. We are so certain we're not going to get rumbled. We just fell asleep where we're like, there's probably an ambush coming. You tired? A little bit. Yeah, I could go for a nap. All right. I guess Shanty just moves around now. No fight in that direction. I'm not sure if the clicking on all of the ashes from a fire, from a campfire, actually help your things go up or not. Like, you help your scouting go up or whatever. It might. Seems like a thing that could be true. So we don't need to go to Hawk's Hollow. Now, the help web that I'm reading also says, hey, in case you care, there is a way to get more combats in this chapter, because there's a lot more that have spawned. So we could walk around a lot more in Zone 1. Basically, Lamut, Tirsog, Yabin, like every Hawk's Hollow, L'Oreal. We could walk around this entire area, and there's more fights to be had. Not entirely interested in doing that. Just so lazy. This point is when chat just goes nuts, being like, oh my god, did Peach just pay money for something he could dupe? Oh, close house. Ah, the drunk with the fight that we had. Owens has a tender spot in his head still. Ah, have a menu. Cash up front if you don't mind. I don't mind at all. Here, I'm not going to give you much cash if I can help it. Wait, is this guy... This guy's unhaggleable, I think. $11, $10, $3, and $4. Yeah, that's perfect. You did the math correctly. Here, want this? No? Okay, cool. I just thought I'd ask. You know, hey, we're getting along. We're buddies. Apparently there's supposed to be a bunch of beast hounds guarding Zune. Maybe they're coming up. Seems like they're guarding the max, so... But we're going to go to Lamut anyway. Yep. Oh, and scouting's gone up. That's cool. To 40. Korat stealth has gone up to like 96, I think. Oh, even better. 96, 96. At some point, I'm going to throw these weed walkers away. Yeah, let's go into Lamut for supplies. Anything at the shop? At no point have they gotten any... Oh, you'll buy books. Good, get that out of my inventory. What was this? Eyes of Bishop. No, I can use Aventurine on that and fix it myself. I should probably do that, in fact. Oh, just an instant thing.
Honors to your houses.
Sumani! Just comes up to talk to us immediately. I hope you'll find your experience here at the Blue Wheel Inn a pleasurable one. You're at Surani, aren't you? Did you belong to the garrison here in Lamut? Wait, what the hell is happening? I've heard that many of Earl Kasumi's troops were once from Tsuranoani. We know this! It is so. Why did you leave the garrison to run a tavern? Surely you would have more opportunities for advancement in the garrison. You might have one day gained land for yourself or even a title. Earl Kasumi was gracious enough to dismiss me from my post so that my dishonor would not taint the reputation of the Lamutian garrison. What did you do? Forgive me, but I believe I hear my cook calling from the kitchen. I will attend you later. Were we supposed to have this conversation at any other time but now? Very well, I hope I didn't... We shall speak again soon. Bard. 75 sovereigns. We'll talk right now. We're always pleased to have guests of your eminence. We are always pleased to have guests of your eminence. I feel like that's supposed to be a pun, almost. How may the Blue Wheel Inn be of servants to you? Let's talk about you, my dude. Why'd you come here? Get better business on Kellowan. Then this happened, and then we were told not to kill ourselves. We just decided to stick around. Yeah, no, just stop in for something to eat. How about the dwarf?
Ugh, what is it now?
Nothing, apparently. He just wants to sit and... God damn, I just want to smoke. Cool. Anything else? No. Why bother?
Ugh, what is it now?
Nope. Not ever going to get anything out of him. Not going to have anything out of Sumani. I guess we're probably not going to trigger that joke quest, and frankly, that's fine. The heavy metal gate greeted their arrival. When they were at last allowed entry into the garrison, they were led back to a meeting. Please, am I out of my mind? Past tense of led, L-E-D. Am I crazy? I've seen this happen multiple times. Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you, Arclight. I thought I was losing my mind now. I'm like, wait, have I gone this entire... Graham and I, on occasion, will have conversation about the number of spaces you put after a period. And the funny thing about that is we're both correct, also about after colons and stuff, and we're both correct because we went to school several years apart from each other, because I am older. So when I went to school and was taught typing in like grade 4, grade 5, even when we had Apple IIs, green screened Apple IIs, not even the Apple II GS was like a newer thing to have in school where you could have like a color screen, right? No, like when I was taught this stuff, 2 spaces after every period. That was the typewriter standards. That's bang, bang, right? You just always 2 spaces after period. Colons, 2 spaces after a colon. Semicolons, 1 space after a semicolon. You don't come up with semicolons too much when you're in elementary school. Generally, that is more of a high school thing. But so he says to me that it's like, well, no, it's 1 space. And I'm like, I know that the modern thing is to do 1 space. And in fact, if you're typing on a phone, the 2 spaces after a sentence, if you go space, space together, it automatically inserts a period in a space because it's like, I know you're at the end of the thing. You don't have to change the period. I'm like, I love that. I love that it does that. I love that it makes it the more modern looking thing. But when I'm typing on a keyboard, I get to the end of a sentence, bang, bang. It drives him crazy. And to be fair, I worked on my yearbook club for 4 years. He worked at the university newspaper for a number of years. We're both following style guides that have to do with whatever it is we were doing at the time. And I said, I will be unable to change this about myself. I will be unable to get rid of the 2 space thing. I will, when it comes to my kids, I'm not going to interfere and tell them it has to be whatever. They're going to tell me I've done something wrong. That's fine. Be like, I'm sorry, but your dad learned to type when typewriters were way more prevalent. I never typed in a typewriter. That's how we were taught because that's how the thing was. You're learning the correct way now because it's the way they want you to do it these days. But the colon thing was something I didn't realize had changed. And so he looked it up because he's like, your 2 spaces after colon thing is driving me nuts. I'm like, but it's correct. He's like, it isn't. And I said, but it is. And he says, but it isn't. And I'm like, uh-huh. And so he went and looked it up. The Chicago Style Guide of Style, Chicago, whatever, Guide to Style, whatever you want to call it. In 2003, the year I graduated university, when he was still in university, but the year I graduated university, the Chicago Style Guide changed from 2 spaces to 1 space. So even all through all of my major typing that I was doing for whatever, it was always two spaces. And when he was working at a newspaper, they had changed it to 1 space, which is why he would have learned about it. I'm like, I never would have learned about it. I'd have been out of school and no one would have been telling me this after that point. So now, is it a good idea to, follow up with your style guides from time to time if you're doing a lot of writing? Sure, but I write, not for publication. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the story. Pleasantries were exchanged as the men shook hands. You and your men have done a good job in this area, Captain, said Owen. It's no longer under martial law, I see. Now, it's funny. Owen being the son of a baron, Tiburn. Owen being a son of whatever, he's technically part of nobility, so he might outrank captains in this case, right? But whatever. It's no longer under martial law, I see. Belford sat a little straighter in his chair. Thank you. I've had patrols out rounding up every pointy-eared bast... He caught himself, remembering Gorath was in the room. Well, we've captured a number of mortal prisoners, the last group of which had some large dogs with them. We didn't even run into those dogs. We actually missed that entire that entire ambush. We didn't have food to keep them, and they seemed harmless, so we turned them out. Trained beast hounds, no doubt, sighed Owen, probably out looking for us. They thanked Captain Belford for the information, then left. So that's neat that we now know about that thing that we might run afoul of still, but nothing else to do here. Oh god, Maricat, that sounds terrible. There was an old game for my Atari ST called Universe 2 that was a mix of graphics and text adventure. I was stuck for over a year on it because to get through into the starports, you had to go through customs and expected you to type no comma officer period space. Or 2 spaces perhaps, and I was too young to include the spaces because, you know, why would you include the spaces? Now, we are at the Mac. Let me just roll down a bit. Basically, the idea here is we go into the Mac, and if we've done all of the looting and stuff up to, like, the Kobold quest, there we go.
Bah, I thought I had a black noodle.
If we have done everything up to the Kobold quest, we don't have to go looking for anything else. We just have to go to lower level, and we have to go down from there. Which is nice. I heard you coming down the passageway, and for a moment I thought you might be another one of them beasties come to rattle me bones. I suppose we're all a wee bit jumpy down here as yet. Hope we didn't startle you too badly. We were just looking around for a way to get to Elvandar. I think I'd heard once it was the other side of the Grey Towers. You found the way! These mines stretch all the way from one side of the Grey Towers to the other. We've had a collapse here, but we broke through about half an hour ago. I saw me brother McConnor for the first time in months. Oh, but there's some tragic loss too. There's falls in the caverns and the passages to it were terrible damaged. I don't know we'll ever see it again. Terrible, terrible mess those Braknur made. But we can get through to Elvander. Aye, but I advise you to stick to the main passages as there's some windy bits? Windy bits. That's what I meant to say, windy bits that can cause some humans distress. It's a common we wouldn't let you go alone as you get lost, but only the major passages have been cleared. You'll do safely now. Before we go, can we... The music starts up again. Before we go, can you ask you a few questions? I don't see why not. What do you need to know, laddie? Elvandar! After we leave the Macmorning Cadell, which way will we take to Elvander? I've never been there. Yeah, don't think for a moment it's going to be as easy as that, now do you, lad? The elves don't exactly invite the rest of the world in for pleasant tea parties, and I think they'll take particular exception to your mortal friend here. Oh, he's not mortal. He's, an elf what doesn't know the way to Elvander? I'm no fool, and you'll be even in sorrier wealth if you try that one-on-one with war leader Thomas's border rangers. They'll have the both of you hanging by your ankles from a tree in a sparrow's fall. If what I hear from me brother McConnor is true, they may even have cause to shoot your friend on sight. Why? What would they have against Gorath? Not impersonally, again, the Mordor. I'm not sure the details, but I've heard the Mordor are pressing the borders near Morlin. I'm sure my brother McCannor can tell you more about it than I. If he's not still in the Cadal, he may be on the road to Caldara. Can we get trained in armor repair, I wonder? No, that's no longer going to be a thing. All right. Goodbye. Time we should get going. Gorth and I have been to attend to. Don't we all? But a happier day I've not long had. If you wish to be going on through to Elvander, just keep following your nose west till you see daylight. How would you say thank you in your native tongue? I don't think you get your tongue around it or I'll tell you, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Good traveling to you. Thank you then. Gorath, why don't you lead the way? We were not doing fucking names anymore, Gorath. Everyone knows you're the kind of elf that they're not happy with. Right. Zoom out a hair. It's up here, isn't it? I think it's up there. Let's just put a bookmark down. Oh, we need rest, do we? This kind of rest? It is not up there. If it's not up there, where is it? I'm gonna guess that it is on this map that I'm now looking at. Oh, it's in the southwest quadrant. You're right. Okay. Basically, second star on the right. Oh shit! Were we supposed to turn? Supposed to go straight forward. There's a chest. Turn up this way. There's another chest. That's right. I remember this whole nonsense now. We had west, then south through a big room, past a body and some other stuff. There's a lower level. Well, shall we? Yep, you shall. And this is a head completely west. Do. And the first time we can head south, second time we can head south is when we head south to hit where the kobolds are. That's the first one, I think. Yeah, turn again. Big. Oh, shit. A fight. Okay, well, this guy's suspicious. Because these guys closed in right away. Oh, you're tough. Here, how about if I help? What should I do? Oh. I should help. Yeah. We're so close to maxing these out. Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on. Okay, best it's gonna be ever. Bloop. It's like, where's the other dude? I have dozens of keys. That reminds me when I was a lot younger. Anyone remember getting a lot of like sweepstakes mail? You get stuff in the mail and it's like, hey, there's this you know, they'd send you like a thing and it's like you can enter the sweepstakes and all you have to do is like peel off these stickers and put these things in this location and take a key and you should match the key to the thing. And yeah, and you get car keys that are blanks, but they're not actual, like, they're not printed on like nice steel or whatever. They're printed on like shitty aluminum or whatever. Those kind of things. So never the sense of you can go to a car dealership and like get a guaranteed prize. That was not something that happened in my neck of the woods. It was basically this thing, and there'd be like an outline of a key, and then you take the keys off, and you'd measure them against the thing, and then the one that was correct, that there was like, oh, you have the one that actually fits the outline of the key. Of course you do. You put that one back in the envelope that you're sending back, and put the other things in there with all the stickers and shit on them, and then you seal that, and you put that back in the mail, and because it's, you know, any can go wherever. And then the rest of the keys are like you throw all this other shit out. You know, you don't just recycling. Are you kidding me? That's horse shit. So anyway, I used to take the keys that we didn't need, and I'd hang them on my keyring, because all I had on my keyring was like my house key and I think like another key that I needed, and that was it. And it's like, I don't have enough keys. I have like a key ring and then and it's like, why do I need this? At a certain point, I started getting more and more keys, and I still had these shitty, like when you touch them, the carbon would rub off or whatever. Your fingers would change color and stuff. And I had these terrible keys with me. Right, I think I ended up having like a set of car keys at some point because my parents were like, you can have the extra set of car keys for when you need to drive the family car. And so then I eventually was like, I got so many damn keys that I was just like, I need to get rid of these things. But at the time, it was just like a way of being like, I just want more things to carry in my keyring that make it worth having a keyring. So, yeah. We're through. There are no fights here, apparently. Some cairns. There is, what we need to do is go to the north one and then to the west one. Wait. I'm reading this map and I'm just trying to like, the top one goes to lower level? No, it doesn't. It's the north one doesn't go to lower level. I look at my keyring now, and it's covered in keys and tags and other shit that I need to do stuff, and my big ass fob for my car and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my god. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Wait, did I close the map I needed to kind of figure my way out of here still? Right, it leads to the west side of things. Oh, we definitely need to go. We definitely need to turn here. Yeah, why not? Hell yeah, man. Oh. Okay. They seem a lot bigger than I expected. I don't know what I'm gonna face here. So let's juice. Oh wait. Decorate my sword. Poison? Maybe? Sure. I gotta dupe that venom at some point. Oh. Watched a great little video today on the Mercedes 500e, the 1995, I guess, 500e. And was reminded of the fact that when I was shopping for a car when I was living in Grand Prairie, I had a friend of mine who was very much into BMWs, and he'd said to me, he's like, why don't we like, if you want to look for BMWs, like we can do that. It's like, I want a fancier car than what I have, and I know I can buy like a nicer version of a car. And no one's poisoned? All right, fair enough. I know I can buy like a nicer version of a car. All I have to do is just like get it from Japan, because you can just get cool cars from Japan. And so he's like, oh, I have a dude, like, I know a guy who does that. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I know a guy who does that. I'm like, oh, cool. You want me to hook you up? Yeah, I'd love to like talk to this guy. And so he said, here, and he gave me the whole like rundown. This was not Ian, though. That would be funny. So Sure. Yeah, I'll take those. So we so I looked into this and I was like, this seems like a really cool thing to be able to get. And and I was looking at all the cars and there's some cool BMWs and stuff, and I was like, well, I wanted to buy a a diesel. And I know that Japan is usually a bit better about getting diesels and stuff as well. And I know that BMW makes some good diesels and stuff. And so this whole thing happened where I was like, BMW makes some diesels, but apparently not the good ones. The really good ones to get are them like Mercedes diesels from like whatever time. It's one of the ones that everyone always talk about, like that kind of thing, which is how I ended up like really doing a lot of research and determining about getting whatever. And I was looking at this dude's diesels, but he had available on his list import from Japan, and these are all left-hand drive because they were imported from Germany originally. They were not JDM made for right-hand drive or whatever. Even though I was looking at getting right-hand drive one because I'm like, that'll be rad. I'll get one of those. Dude had a 95 500e, and it was like going for like 5,000, I think. It's going to be roughly like $5,000, and then maybe some import fees and whatever else. We get up to like maybe $600,000 or $700,000, or not 700, $6,000, $7,000 or whatever it would be. And I was just like, and I could afford that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, look at that thing, but very little like, it's like, this is a really cool car, got the big V8 in it, all this kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Did not go for that. Because I was like, I don't want a gasser though, and I don't want to pay that much on gas. I have a Plymouth Volare with a V8 in it already. I'm spending a lot on fuel. I want to spend less money. I want to be more environmentally responsible. Diesels use less, and then plus I can start putting biodiesel in it too. I can, and biodiesel's like just a 1-to-1 on these older cars. You can just put it in and use it. That biodiesel thing never went anywhere. I never ended up running bio in any of my cars, which sucked, but whatever. It was a dream perhaps to have. But I ended up watching this video on what the 500e was like, and I was like, oh, I missed a major chance at having an incredibly cool car that would have been in remarkable condition, and it would have cost me so much money to run, but it would have been a really cool thing to, and I think about it now, I'm like, I miss my W124. It was a good car, but, that things happen. Death will come quickly to those who trespass here. Live now or your suffering will be 1,000 times worse than that of the one buried beneath this marker. We did put a bookmark down, right? It's just a body. Did we get sick? Didn't even get sick. All right. Chests it is. Oh, word lock box. All right. Flat as a leaf, round as a ring. Has 2 eyes but can't see a thing. That's a button. Oh ho, what do we got here? Gambit of the 8. I don't think I have that at all. I do not. What's the other one? Black Nimbus. The one that we were trying to sell so I could get a copy of it. It's just, I can have this now. Cool, I now know 2 new spells that I don't know what they do yet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out later. Nothing else I need from here. We got a full thing of Potionox, so it's fine. Do we need to sleep a bit? It's not going to make me any better. Imagine digging up the body might actually eat some time then. Oh, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I'll still try Gorath. Alright, some sovereigns and a shell. Dakosa says, I feel like Beej's dream car has a Wankel engine. You're not wrong. I mean, you are wrong, but you're not wrong, is that I am definitely into the automotive curios more than anything else. I'm definitely like, hey, I can get this vehicle that has a weird engine or has these other kind of things. I'm touch of Lim's Kragma, just a touch. I'll just have my coffee with a touch of Lim's Kragma. What the shit does that do? I know that the game did say this is the guide said, hey, the touch of Lim's Kragma is going to be something that it's a very rare thing to be able to get. And I was like, nice. Yeah. I'm just now thinking about it, so it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's probably pretty rare. So I guess we're sleeping some more. But yeah, the idea of like, back when I was younger, the idea of having a really interesting car that with an unusual whatever, definitely was very appealing. It's like, I want to have, like, the diesel engine thing was an unusual thing too. Oh, it's Touch of Lim Kragsman, the only copy in the game. Well, I hope that it's going to be useful to me if I ever decide to use it. But like, Wankel engines sound incredibly cool to me. I would definitely be all about like having something like that if it wasn't for the fact that I also did a lot of reading on the Something Awful Automotive Insanity forum, a really good forum, because these guys don't like, they're not fans of just oh, this is great and this is the only car to get and and this car sucks or whatever. They're like, no, we're gonna actually have a conversation about this, like you should have conversations about stuff. And their stance is largely, is this a car that I can, like, is it useful in some way? What are the cool things about this car that also make it useful to me? So they're not like, anything that isn't this sucks, right? It's like, no. VW makes some good cars, and so-and-so makes some good cars, and there's the Toyota MR2 is a really cool car to have, but also we know what a huge pain in the ass it is. There's a guy named Sockington that like did a whole bunch of work in his car that was like just filled with rust and stuff, but they're also very supportive. It's like, you're doing a lot of good work and good for you for doing your work and stuff. And yeah, their thing about like talking about apex seals on Wankel engines just kind of made me like, what the hell's an apex seal? And then you do a little research, you find out it's like, okay, an apex seal is something you're constantly replacing on a Wankel, or that you'll have to replace at some point, because that's the thing that seals the very apex of the Rillo triangle that spins around on the inside. It's a very cool device, this thing that exists, and seeing the interiors is like, okay, this is great, but the apex seal is the thing that actually allows it to seal to the edge of the chamber, so that when you have an explosion, there's no blow-by. And if your seals fail, then you just start losing compression, which means you can't make anywhere near as much power. And I'm like, boy, this sounds like a huge pain in the ass. The kind of pain in the ass that you would have on an airplane. What the shit? Okay, we can swing across that. On an airplane, you'd have many mechanics repairing these engines for free, right? You know, it's like you're already paying them to repair stuff, so there's nothing over here. So of course you don't need to do the maintenance yourself or pay someone to do this stuff and cost you $1,000 or whatever, right? It's like, oh, hello. Oh, you're a big boy. We are not juiced. We're going to have to juice. I don't think, Crazy Zony, I don't think you could get me, I don't think you get me interested in the Corvair at all. I know there's been some cool things about, I believe that was GM's like big push at making an air-cooled car. And I've heard like people who be like, it's a really cool idea and a really neat design, and yeah, man, is it a pain in the ass. All right. They hadn't been seen, charging forward into the murky darkness. Owen finally caught sight of the creature and gasped at the size of it. Glancing over his shoulder at Gorath, he sighed. This is going to be harder than I thought. It's another Brock Newer. which, if I remember correctly, you blind them, and then you hit them. And then you search them for supplies. Because why would they have that? Yeah, that is the strat you use versus every foe in the game. But yeah, the fact that Despair Thy Eyes works on the Brocknur makes it such an easy fight, because there's only one of them and you can take them down pretty good. So, yeah. But, I mean, when it comes to, like, dream cars, it's hard, right? Like, I really love my E300D. It was a 95? I think so, yeah. And it was like, it was a non-turboed, it was the non-turboed version of that diesel from that era, and which was nice because I didn't have to ever worry about like the turbo having a problem. It just meant that there was it says focus on armor crafting before you leave the mine. Okay, you said to do a thing. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, getting like a dream car at this point. You know what? I'm gonna take a break then, and I'm gonna think about what I'd actually want for a dream car at this point. That's an interesting idea. Now that I've gone through my W124 thing and I really like it, I wouldn't mind having one back. But what would be the point? What would I like as a dream car? Let's take a break. Let's come back in a few minutes and continue a little bit further. And we're back for just a little bit more of Betrayal at Krondor here on Play It Forward. The question when I left was, what would be your dream vehicle to get, Beej? The vehicle you want? I don't think they make one yet. Now that I think about it, because I'm like, what would I actually want? I want an electric vehicle. That would be the next thing that I want. I want to be able to get range, obviously, and my thing is like, I want 300 kilometer range. Less than that is just kind of like, I don't think I could handle that kind of thing. And I want it to be a minivan. There was a time when I was definitely looking at getting I looked at the Mercedes R classes at one point because I'm like, I should be able to pick one of those up cheap in like about 5 or 10 years. So I'll just kind of familiarize myself with them right now. Lots of leather and like, all that, but 7-passenger seating, but you can also like move the seating a bit. So you can, it's like kind of the nicest way of getting into that. Like, I want to be able to carry a lot of my friends around, but of course, and then also you get like a diesel, and they were, I think they were the CDI diesels, with the common rail injection. Don't want those anymore. I was looking at getting a Mitsubishi Delica at some point because I'm like, that would be fun too. Where I park these days I don't have the clearance, I don't think, so I'd have to get like the newer space wagons that are a little lower to the ground. They look cool. The Toyota Alphard looks rad as hell. That was a minivan they made in only in Japan. There's lots of those kind of like really good looking space minivans that come out of Japan that I'm like, I want a 7-passenger seat, 8-passenger seating van. But I want it to be electric, and I want to be able to like have the stow and go seating thing. Like James's Grand Caravan that he used to have has that. It's whoever has it now. And I'm just like, that's what I want ultimately, is an electric 7-passenger, 8-passenger seating minivan that's very comfortable to sit in, but that I can hide the back seats with. Or if I even have to take it out, then I take it out. So I have lots of room to, like, if I need to haul some stuff, because that does happen, then I want to be able to do that too. And we had a minivan that was, we had a 1993 Ford Aerostar with the Eddie Bauer package, which, among all the other things that are in the Eddie Bauer package thing, the main reason you get that is it has 4 captain's chairs and a bench seat in the back that leans back to turn into essentially like a small, the bed-ish type of thing. You can also lean it forward if you want to, but the back just drops down to become like a flat surface to lay on. It was a great minivan, and having 4 captain's chairs, choice. It was so good to have that, because it meant that as like you have adults sitting in this thing. You're not like, you don't have two people sitting in a very comfortable seat up front, and then the people behind are kind of like, this isn't great, and I don't know if I want to do this for very long. It's like, no, you've got 4 people who can sit very comfortably. The 3 in the back, a little less comfortably, but at least it's not so bad. But it ain't great, but it's not bad. I would probably buy a hybrid. I don't really want to, because at this point I'm just waiting to see if we're going to go full electric. And my Jetta TDI that I have right now is going to probably last us quite a while. So I'm not interested in getting rid of it just yet. But yeah, if Dodge made an all-electric Grand Caravan, that might be the next thing I end up looking at. And I know it's like, oh, soccer mobile. I'm like, I don't give a shit, my dude. Give me a way to haul stuff around that's really long and big. I like that. Give me a place to put 6 of my friends or whatever, so we can ride around. Let me do that. I'm all about that Chevy Suburban lifestyle. The Suburban's just too much, though. Too much gas. Anyway, let's roll on. This must be the passage to Elvandar, noted Owen. If we go up this way, it may take us a few hours to get to the end. Are we up to the climb right now? Yes. I've never been this far in the game. Didn't even know we could do this. Hours passed, just as Owen was beginning to wonder if they would ever see the light of day again. The walls of the stairwell widened and were illuminated by dim shafts of light piercing the darkness through an oaken door. Pushing it open, Owen gasped at the marvel of the leafy canopy which spread above them. I'm just going to be fair. Oh, cool. Weird. If I ever had to, like, if it was like, you need to buy another vehicle now, I would definitely be looking at, like, Chevy Bolt or Nissan Leaf, because they've been making Leafs for a while, so I feel like they've kind of worked on a lot of those problems an awful lot. But that's kind of my, that's kind of where it's like, I'd be looking at those vehicles, I'd be looking at other vehicles that have had some time to become, had some time to get good at being, like, electrics. But I have to say that Ford Maverick that showed up, that I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But now Volkswagen's making the ID stuff, and I'm like, the ID or the ID vehicles, I'm like, those sound good too. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here. This sounds so weird. This looks so weird. Ah, okay. Nothing. I'm gonna do nothing.
You couldn't have come at a better time.
Makanar Bandok. It's an awful mess from here on out. Wyverns have come in from over the mountains and have singed things up a bit. If we hadn't been beaten back flames this past few weeks, we'd been through a month sooner. I don't know how many roads are passable at this stage. What kin of Yorn that come and helped us clear out the mess in the mine left as soon as word reached us that fires were approaching Elvander. Where did the Wyverns come from? Where else, lad? The Northlands, some new bastard mortal leader I hear harassing your kinfolk. Oh, he does think we're an elf. I hope you haven't any kits in harm's way. No, what of the Moradal? A few as what had the nerve to cross over from the moorland have already got themselves skewered, though I know that Prince Callan has been on the frontier looking for others. The biggest concern as yet is to put up the flames and get help to those as got trapped behind it all. Let's talk about Prince Callan then. Callan? Prince Callan leads? What of Ward Leader Thomas? Poor news indeed. 3 days ago, Thomas led a band of elves to stem raiders what had come over from the river near Morelin. They beat the raiders Bacarites, but in the melee, the warlord took a thrust to his side with a tainted blade. They had to carry him back to Elvander, though I understand it wasn't without a struggle. Thomas wanted to stay, but word was carried back to Aglarana of his condition, and that was the end of that. Prince Callan, I'm going to keep saying that both ways, assumed control of the patrols at that point, and Kenny's up near the northwestern fringe of the forest carving up Mordal. Does the war leader yet live? That lad has ever been a fighter, and tenacious one at that. Sooner you'll let them cut a leg off than succumb to this poison. I wouldn't worry. I think it took your kin for a turn, though, seeing Thomas fall. I've never heard of it happening in the 15 years he's been with your folk. Clear roads. We are required in Elvander quickly. You mentioned fires? Extinguished now, though not without a fair portion of foot stomping and bucket carrying. I thought for a while the whole forest might become all one ferocious blaze, but Tathor and the rest of Queen Aglarana's spellweavers managed to put an halt to that business. Then we should have no difficulty returning to Elvander. I don't know I would exactly say that. There's still a fair number of those wyverns flapping about the forest, though Tathor's been working night and day to bring the blighters down. Even taught Prince Callan a bit of spellcraft what can bend the will of those cantankerous lizards, but I understand it still hasn't put an halt to the raids. What are the dwarves? Oh, we volunteered a few men. But as you elves don't much like outsiders in your realm, we've respected your borders. King Dolgan did send a few volunteers to help out the Elf Queen, but a lot of them took a terrible weariness once they entered the forest and could go no further. They must have fell afoul of one of your fabled sleeping glades. Caldara. If we may face wyverns, it may be wise if we had our armor repaired. Are there any armor crafters in Caldara? Are there any leaves in Elvander? You've gone daft. Of course there's armor crafters in Caldara. You don't have to go all the way, though. I can repair for a few gold. If you watch close, you might even learn a bit about the craft of repairing armor. Does 100 sovereign suit you? Aye. Suits me just fine. What do we need to do? Well, lad, I mean, much obliged. If you remove any armor you might have on under that tunic of yours, and if your elf friend will do the same, we will get to work. Now, just you watch what I do. Someone told me once a few dents in the armor can actually be beneficial. Something about them catching blows that would ordinarily scrape along the surface and into the chinks. Makes some sort of sense when you think about it, I suppose. Maybe it would be a good idea to make armor so that already has bumps. Facets! If it already had them built in, then the armor... You're already finished? I finished. You'll find your armor's as good a condition as it can be, lad. Though I dare say you have learned a great deal more if you spent more time listening and less time talking. Goodbye! And our armor craft went up. Thank you so much. He wanted us to take our clothing off, and we did. Hooray! Armorcraft 100%. I don't have to concentrate that anymore if I don't want to. And Armorcraft 84 is pretty good as well. Nice to have those higher. Meltalar mentions the base of the ID platform, which is the Cupra Born. I don't even know if we can buy that in this country. Maybe we can buy it in Canada. I'm not sure. Hyundai's Ioniq 5 seems very good. I heard about the Hyundai the other day, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah. You can head off through the forest. Or we can apparently head off through this direction. There's forest all around us. Let's put a bookmark down. Owen knocked on the door. Hickory-scented pipe smoke slid underneath, curled gently around his feet. The smell had barely reached his nose when the door was flung open and they were greeted by a smiling dwarf. Great day! Come in, laddies! Join us! Over his left shoulder, they could see several other dwarves seated around a small wooden table onto which they were tossing small square stones. Introductions completed. They were invited to join the game. Only 5 sovereigns. What do you say? Yes? Yes. Standing around the table, Owen was given a stone and a count of 3 all were thrown onto the table. Klapka, yelled one of the dwarves, grabbing the stone thrown by Owen. You lose, lad. He scooped all the coins into his lap. What? Cried Owen. 'Twas a double dragon. The first to yell Klapka and grab the other stone is the winner, said the dwarf. Care to try again? Yes. Attaboys, drop them in the pot and pick up your stones. Once again, they tossed their stones on the table, and at the count of 3, this time 2 of the dwarves stood up excitedly and yelled, Vuka, Vuka! They picked up their stones and tossed them down again. After the second throw, one dwarf slammed his fist on the table, and the other, grinning broadly, scooped all the coins into his lap. Ah, Vuka stones. Care to try your luck again, lads? Yes. Very good. I think your luck is about to change, said the dwarf. They tossed the stones on the table for a third time, the strange markings on each side flipping and spinning wildly as they bounced across the table. Tabled, says one of the dwarfs cheerfully. All coins stare on the table. Will you play again? Yes. Owen tossed 5 more coins on the table. Once again, the count of 3, he threw a stone. This time, the setting of the stones was greeted by amazed silence as all the dwarves stared at the table. Ach, yelled one dwarf. It cannot be. The others quickly joined in, and soon all were whispering and arguing amongst themselves in language Owen couldn't understand. Finally, all the others looked on in disgust. The dwarf who had met them at the door spoke. You threw a dragon, lad. Realizing the import wasn't sinking in, he continued. You threw a dragon, and we all threw vukas. Did we win? Owen asked, still confused. Kill me now. Aye, you won everything! The other dwarves began to dump handfuls of coins on the table. Must be over 100 gold pieces. You'll be playing again, won't you? Before the dwarves had a chance to complain, Gorth picked up the coins and headed for the door. You got to give us a chance to win our money back, the dwarf yelled at them. They pretended not to hear. They weren't scamming us. They were straight up like they were being gentlemen about it. That's good. Considering the circumstances we left with all their money, we probably don't need to come back. They knocked on the door and waited for a reply. There's lots going on here, damn. There were some shuffling sounds, and the door swung open, and they found themselves staring down at a dwarf. Well, bless me bones, what brings you lads so far from home? He invited them into his house and offered them some fresh water for their pouches. He asked their journey, and they told him briefly. You've heard about the troubles being had by the Ales, then? He asked. Trouble? Questioned Owen. Aye, damnedest thing. Baby dragons have been attacking Ilvander. War leader Thomas has been doing his best to keep them out, but there's only so much he can do. He talks some more of the attacks and of the strange rock-like inhabitants that had been spotted in the Macmordain Canal. They surprised him with a description of how they had killed one of the creatures. Thanking him for his kindness, they left. There are lots more places along here to stop, it seems. That, I bet, is a tavern or an inn. Oh, it was a tavern or an inn. All of these, it's very interesting. I do like this. This is really cool. You're gonna get lost. Oh. Looking slowly, put a hand on her stomach, then looked towards his confused-looking companion. Hold for a moment, Owen. I wish to speak to you. Why, what is it? I merely wish to prepare you for things that may transpire before we reach Ilvander. There are magics, things ancient, which have kept the mortal from crossing into the forest of the Eladel, but I feel those things have been awakened. I may have some difficulty completing our journey. Difficulty? What do you mean? It was not my intent to alarm you, only to reassure you that no matter what may happen between here and Ilvander, I have come to consider you a friend. Jesus! Jesus! Whew! Tough. All right. There's a place over there. And then there's... Basically, if we just stay on the road... Place is abandoned. A shell. Some spoiled rations. I need neither of these. No shops. I do like the idea of just given a road, just follow this road. The house seemed to be abandoned. Prying open the front door, they entered cautiously. Inside, they found an assortment of furniture items, no doubt too heavy or bulky to move. Yeah, just put that couch in my backpack. Though it appeared there wasn't anything of value, the house was worth a careful search. I don't give a shit about that. That. So there's that and those two things coming up. Owen banged on the door with the side of his fist. After a moment, a man's voice called from inside. What do you want? Could you give us some fresh water for our pouches, asked Owen. There's a well just down the road. Now leave me alone. But the conversation didn't seem worth the effort, so they left. Did I just activate my trap card? I might have by accident. All right, fucking whatever. No one answered the first knock, so one knocked again. Finally, a hoarse voice called to them, heavy with a dwarven accent. Who's calling me? That didn't sound like a dwarven accent at all. We come from the kingdom. Can we come in? Owen asked. Aye, the door's open. Do as you like. Aye, the door's open. Do as you like. They opened the door and entered a dimly lit room, sparsely furnished. In one corner they could make out a shape, apparently laying on a bedroll. Come in, rest your bones a minute, said the dwarf in a tired voice. With his eyes closed as though he were seeing the event in the inside of each lid, he told them of his journey from Caldera, and of the wyverns he had seen circling Ilvander. The bloody Moradil are roaming about too. Took a sword and a side from one. He rolled over and they could see the deep gash extending from his hip halfway up his hairy back. Can we do anything for you? Owen winced. Oh, can we do anything for you? Owen winced at the open gaping wound. Nah, it looks worse than it is. I just need a few more days to rest up, that's all. They wished him well and left quietly. We could heal you, we could do things that help you feel better. Could tell you a joke. People like jokes. Alright, that's the next one. Shop. Split Tree Goods. It is a buy, sell, exit. Exit. Ah. Don't need any of this stuff at all. I'm not going to take all the good stuff off of... We weren't warned to take all the good stuff off of him according to the guide, so I'm not even going to bother worrying about it. I understand now, though, why we might have wanted to have that... have the ring functional. Sure. No. Oh, it is a wooden stump with a key in it. We have a dozen of those. Oh. Actually, I'm going to poison his blade. I haven't had an opportunity to... Wait, where the hell is it? There we go. Since there's only room for one thing in there, it's like I haven't had an opportunity to do this yet, so we'll do that. There we go. Where are we going if we continue this way? I want to go this way. It sounded like distant war drums. Owen stopped and cocked one ear, a puzzled expression on his face. He was about to comment on the strange sound when a cool wind suddenly kicked up swirls of dust around him. Looking up, he was terrified to see the sound was not caused by the beating of drums. It was the beating of a very large pair of wings. The creature landed, prepared for combat. So, I don't see it. But like they say, just because you don't see something doesn't mean it's not there. Though maybe it isn't there. Gorath motioned for silence. Though it had been years since he had led his kin through the skirts of the Eladel forest on their escape from the Green Heart, the sights and smells were as familiar to him as the lines on the tips of his fingers. Yet there was an unnatural feeling about the areas they stood in. Something moves nearby, but it is not one of our blood or any forest animal whose movement sounds I know. I thought I was hearing something, a high-pitched sort of whine coming from the north? It is the same sound. It might be to our benefit if we were to see what its source is. What if it's something that thinks we look like dinner? If wish us harm, better that we know what stalks us to have the advantage in attack than to allow it to come and eat us when it chooses the moment, don't you think? The choice is yours. Just continue straight then. That seems odd. Oh, it is. Yes, it is a... It is late tonight, isn't it? Hello, brave new Faves raid. Evening, Kathleen. The shit is this? Still panting from the climb inside the treehouse. I think we just wasted our energy climbing up here. There doesn't seem to be anyone about. I'm sorry, what? I'm what? Cool. There's a well. There's a treehouse. Owen was about to knock on the door when he heard loud voices coming from inside the small house. He listened but couldn't make out what was being said. He was about to knock again when the door swung open and three very loud and very seemingly very drunk dwarves came charging out. All that sand on the banks of the endless sea, that's what's left of all the Brocknurs I've killed. That's right, don't you? The bragging dwarf stopped when he saw Owen and Gorath and turned to face his friends, a look of surprise and concern clearly displayed on his bearded face. Whew. The betrayal still goes fine. We are in chapter 6, and maybe we'll actually finish it. Chapter 6 tonight. There's 9 chapters total. What are you doing here? He demanded, eyes shifting to something behind Gorath. We're headed to Elvander, Owen said. Best you be gone then. It's quite a ways north of here. He gestured to his friends, but rather than leaving, they went back inside the house. Owen felt eyes on his back as they turned to leave. I wonder where they were going. They obviously didn't want us to follow them. I would see that well. Owen studied the well carefully. It seemed harmless enough, but they were on the outskirts of Elvander, and anything was possible. Anything was possible. Seems okay, he said, turning to Gorath. I'm going to take a drink. No, commanded the Mordor. It is I who will drink from the well. Owen looked at Gorath. Yes? Owen nodded his approval. Scooping some water into his hand, Gorath held it near his nose and sniffed. Then tipping his head back, he poured the contents into his mouth and swallowed. How do you feel? Asked Owen. It is not unpleasant. Perhaps I should try a bit more. He scooped up some more water and drank it almost greedily, then some more. I think this well must contain healing water, said Gorath, because it's making me feel wonderful. Kinda hot, though. Are you hot? Owen eyed him suspiciously, noticing the way Gorath's eyes were swimming around inside his head. You're drunk. What's in that well? Straight ale? He grabbed Gorath's hand and drug him away from the well. Come on, we have to get out of here. 100% drunk! Which means, holy shit, did he take a kicking in his, yeah. Will restoratives help that? From 100%, that's 95%. You're going to need something for your headache eventually, so I'll just let you have that now. Are we going to have to put you to bed? Sleep an entire day. I see. Sleep it off. You're fine. We're not going there again. Oh, there are things by the water. Well, let's go to the water. This is definitely a good idea, thing that I am doing. All these trees. Okay, so there's 3 things over here. I can't get past that space. That's fine. Ah. No. I should have left him drunk and see what he did. Okay, so one of those, meh. A wyvern's egg. I guess we might as well hold on to that. I'm not going to worry about either of these things. So we found a box. Oh, there's another box. This one is trapped. So 81 versus 88 or 100%. Wrath of Killian. Mad God's Rage. Winds of Aortus. Wrath of Killian. Mad God's Rage. Winds of Aortus. We do not have Mad God's Rage. Where is the other? There's one ahead of me. There's 2 behind me. That's the one ahead of me. That's one of the 2 behind me, which we've already looked in. Yep. Where is the other one? Am I standing on it? No, it is over here. There we go. We could let Gorath train his lockpick at this point if we wanted to. Like, yes, Electra, you do have a good idea here. We should just use Mad's God Rage right now, then we'll know what it does. In fact, though, I don't know. It's a combat spell. All these goddamn keys, it's such a hard... And you can't just double click on them either, that sucks. Yeah. Strikes all opponents until dead, could kill caster. Oh, I see. Cuttlefishman has brought up Geo. As in the Geo Metro, the Geo Prism, the Geo Tracker. An entire car brand at General Motors made purely of cars that General Motors doesn't make. It was a great brand engineering opportunity. I actually, when I was a lot younger, when I was like 13 or 14 or something, I heard about the Geo Metro and I was like, oh, that's what I want. I want a Geo Metro. I want a tiny little car, 3-cylinder, whatever. I want to tool around in that thing. It looks very cute. It gets incredible gas mileage, which is what I want because it's expensive to fill up a car. So that's what I want to get as a car like that. Oh, hey, he did it. Glory hand and a... I don't know about getting a glory hand. Or we don't really need Killian's root oil. I mean, well, we don't really need it. But you can use it, you can put it on things. But yeah, I wanted one for a while, and eventually, because it's like really cheap thing to have, inexpensive car, perfect kind of like, that'll be your first car, right? We were not the kind of family that goes and buys a kid a brand new car as a first car. That was never going to be a thing. But just, nice to dream. And then my next favorite car after that, that I wanted to get was the Neon. Because when the Neon came out, it was like, this thing is also an inexpensive car. And it is great on fuel. So you should have an easy time driving it. And yes, Sir Morik brings up, I always get confused when people talk about gas is expensive when it's one of the cheapest parts of owning a car. Exactly. It's so weird, right? Like you hear about, it's expensive to keep a car running. And it's like, yeah, gas. And you're like, no, parts, maintenance, insurance, all the other things. Gas is like pretty cheap overall. Like gas should never get to you as the thing that's making it too hard for you to use a vehicle. When I had my Valaria, I actually drove it 4 months of the year and parked it the other 8 because it was expensive to operate. But I lived in a town that had like good busing and whatnot, so I took the bus to university. I took the bus home. I bussed around an awful lot, and it kind of sucks. But it's like I didn't have to pay for parking. I didn't have to pay for maintenance. I didn't have to pay for fuel. I didn't have to pay for all these things. During the summer, when I had a job and I could afford for some of those things, then that's when I actually did it. So, park my car. You take your what they call your PLPD, your public liability off. You take that off the vehicle, and now I'm not paying $1,500 a year in insurance. I'm now paying, and yes, $1,500 a year in insurance. I'm now paying $300 a year in insurance as a university student because I'm only driving it for like a short period of time. All right, doesn't seem anyone about in this treehouse either. when growing up, my dad was very big on my dad was very big on riding the riding the bus all the time. So that was what you did, right? We rode the bus a lot. He rode the bus a lot. He had a motorcycle and stuff, but should have probably juiced. Didn't juice. So that worked. And oh shit. Okay, that's good. Tiny dragons. But yeah, it's it definitely at playing, or he extolled the virtues of riding the bus everywhere. He rode and when we lived in a town that didn't have the best busing, it had good busing, but it was not that convenient for him to get from A to B. And yet he was like, what he loved about riding the bus was that as he said, he's like, I walk out there in the winter, my car's already heated up, and then I don't have to do any driving. And I was like, yeah, I find it hard to argue with that, actually. That's a good point. So I've been from a young age a big proponent of comprehensive comprehensive, is that a good word for it? I guess, yeah, comprehensive transit. We're gonna go back and see what those two things are. I also don't think I was supposed to come out all the way over here. Nice. Oh, shit. Oh, shit! Start with that guy. Mm. Evil seek, it's evil seeking. Ow. What were you carrying? Oh, one of those things that lets you summon Rusalki. Guess we could put that back on. He gives polish to the dead. Okay, what am I not seeing around here? Ah, yes, we should also naphtha, you're right. Good idea to do that now while we are waiting. Let's see. Oh. There's a box? No, are you kidding me? Then Gora tried to open it. It was very easy. And there's a bunch of shit in it that he didn't need. And he closed the box. And they wondered where the other box was. The two of them together looked around and around to try to find the other box. Here's a box. This one's trapped. 90% lockpick, eh? Why is that? Is it because I'm hurt? That is why. The whoever it was that mentioned the Geoprism, lucky you, because that's actually the more desirable vehicle to get. The Geometro, while a cool little vehicle to have, certainly not exactly a I guess reliable, in the sense of what you're paying for it, I'm sure, but the Geoprism, if I remember correctly, was a badge engineered Toyota Corolla, and the Corollas of that era were incredibly reliable. Go straight forward, get those two things. Stay on the road. Yes. Keep forgetting where we... And also my mouse is just not wanting to respond at all. There's one thing over there, and then there's a few more things along there. And there's something way over there. Oh no. There's a house. Yeah, literally the Geoprism was a Toyota Corolla. This is a whole partnership that they'd done with Numi, the GM Toyota partnership. To GM was trying to improve their own processes by building a joint factory with Toyota, and but the Prism was it was a Toyota Corolla with all the badging stripped off, and that's the only thing that was different about it, is that they just stripped the badging off. They put all the GM badging on instead. You know what Toyota got in exchange for that? They got the Toyota Cavalier, which was a the Toyota Cavalier was a some weed walkers if you don't have them, some herbal whatevers, which I believe you don't really need both. The Toyota Cavalier was a Chevy Cavalier with all the badging taken off that says that it was something else, and that it's like, no, this is a Toyota now. Go forward a little more. This was not a good trade for Toyota, ultimately. I mean, other than, we have this different car we can... And the J-bodies, J-bodies are what J-bodies are, largely. Where the shit is that other box? Oh, hey. The Rusalki was trying to communicate. In an odd language, they were somehow able to understand the Rusalki spoke to them. Do not be afraid of me. I can see that your hearts are true, and as such I will do you no harm. How do you know such things about us? I know many things. You're on a quest, are you not? Yes, we are. Can you help us? Not directly, no. Only if you'd be willing to find the mortal spellcaster who's been perverting the wills of my kin with a strange device, and retrieve from this man an item stolen from me. It's an item named after my own person, Eliam's heart. Oh. Return with it, and I will do what I may to assist you. Have you returned with the Eliam's heart? Yes. Owen nodded his head. He retrieved the heart and made his way apprehensively to the Rusalki. Hands trembling slightly, he placed the object in front of the creature, then quickly stepped away. You have done what was asked, and now you be rewarded, it said, producing a dozen packets of rations. Also, there is something which was left on the shores of this river ages ago, which will be of assistance to you on the road ahead. Please take it, and thanks from all of my kin. I just promise the Rusalki won't attack us anymore? Would be nice. Is the shell valuable? In ways you may never fully imagine, but its uses are many. While it bears little on that which you seek, you may yet find another thing you desire. Oh yeah? What of Ilthandar? Which is the best route there? By 2 roads may you reach the Queen of the Eladel. If you wander the main roads, there are many hazards, but your enemies shall face you. Wander the path less traveled, and you may find a less substantial opponent. In this, Prince Kellen may be of some assistance. Farewell. Okay, so the main road, lots of hazards, whatever. But under Wander the path less traveled, feels like the one we're following right now is the one that is a less substantial opponent, but in this, Prince Kellen may be of some assistance. Neat. So if we stay on the gray road, we need that. There's something different about the shell. Perhaps it was the color or texture, but he was sure he'd never quite seen another quite like it in all the trading meets he'd ever attended. The honest thing about it was a pattern of 10 bumps on the inner lip of the shell. Remember this? Remember why we need this? My suggestion, Arclight says, is to rub your face over the entirety of this area. Clear it. There's stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't need all these fucking rations. We don't need them all. Oh, I mean, thank you. We don't need them all. You've given us so much. Stop. Guys, it's midnight. We've done a very cool thing. Probably the thing to do would be to just save and wrap things up because, I am very interested in doing whatever else we need to do to kind of do everything. We're going to wrap up. We're going to do a third half. We'll do that. We'll do that on Tuesday, I guess. And what we'll do is we'll save right now, facing the Rusalki, because that definitely won't freak us the hell out when we start up again. What the hell are we doing again? Oh my god! But what a good night. We went a little bit longer again, but it's not so bad. Have this playing. A really neat area to be in with the treetop houses, but it's so thick, it's hard to see stuff, and it's dark out because of, I guess, the cover, so you get to see the blue. It's really weird, but nah. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this Play It Forward. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you go to the main channel, youtube.com/loadingreadyrun, that is where you can, like, subscribe, whatever, but also sign up for YouTube memberships. That is a way to monetarily support the stream. Other ways to do that are through Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Lots of people on there, like over 2,500, or at 2,500 people, I think, at this point. What we bring in, we use that to pay people and to pay for the moon base and to, keep electricity and food and all that kind of good stuff that you need to do when you operate a business, when you have employees. And so you guys are helping to make that happen. Remember, everything we do here is funded for you by you. But on top of that, there's the store.loadingreadyrun.com, a place where you can buy things like DVDs. Not these ones yet. This is the Season 11 DVD set and Blu-ray set. They will be made available. We do have some extras. I don't know how many extra we're going to have, but I know we're going to have some. They'll be made available on the site eventually, but for now, it is the month of Pride. Get yourself a Lure Pride shirt if you want. lrr.cc/pride. That takes you right there, but just store.loadingreadyrun.com is a place to check everything out. We're going to have more Pride shirts in soon as well, so if you're looking to get one, just pick your size and your fitment, and then you can write your email address in, and we will let you know. The store just automatically lets you know when stuff comes back in the inventory, and we don't use those emails for anything else because I cannot be bothered to worry about any of that stuff. When it's done, the email gets sent out, and we don't hold on to that email for that reason. If you added it to your account, then maybe it would have been in there, but whatever. Other things I want to mention, there's like the Coffee with Surge Keep Cups. There's the really cool Wormwood dice trays and Wormwood dice vaults if you're into getting some really nice wood and magnets. It's the bones, the skins, and the trees of beasts, as Ian has never said in his life. Also, what else is on the store? There's playmats. The Agatha Fisty playmat is out now. You can get that if you want it. there are other playmats in the store as well, and just a bunch of other stuff. The Road Quest water bottles, I'll be restocking those soon enough. Apparently they're already shipping to us, so they'll hopefully be there for you by next week is what I'm hoping. And and I want to also thank everybody from Twitch who watched us tonight. Because if you're watching this on Twitch, it is streamed video games is what we do. We do a lot of other streaming as well. For example, I'll thank you guys in a second, but I want to just mention that tomorrow is Rhythm Cafe at 1600 hours Pacific, and followed at 1800 hours Pacific is This Your Card? Then we move into Can't Draw Horses Club on Monday at 1300 Pacific, and then Dice Friends at 1700 Pacific. With more Candlekeep Mysteries, I believe. And then Tuesday brings in Mine O'Clock at 10, Talking Simulator at 1330. I got moved back a tiny bit. And then Let's Nope at 1700. And the week continues along, and you can always check that at loadingreadyrun.com/live. It shows you not in just Pacific. If you live in Pacific, it would. But if you live somewhere else in the world, it is supposed to calculate where you live and use that as a means of telling you when the stuff will be being streamed. So that is a way to do that. So that is the up next. So now I get to thank everybody who was here tonight. Thank you, everybody who was here tonight. Some of you subbed. Some of you gave bits. Let's see who those people were. Ryu Himura for 27 months. That's a cube. Ben Tropic for 17 months. Whither for 75 months. Aquinas Zero for 41 months. I like this. My wife has been stealing the big TV to watch the stream for the last 2 weeks every night before bed. Eventually, she'll see this. KC McGee for 10 months. Museum Girl for 53 months. The Daily Maple Syrup for 14 months. Elaro56 for 43 months. Eking for 29 months. Kathleen's Brave New Faves, the Favors or the Bravers or whatever we call them, but they were the Raiders, all showed up. The Exploded Gamer for 34 months. On Me for 8 months. Kitty's Floof for 3 months. Thank you for coming back, Kitty's Floof. Whenever you guys come back for multiple months in a row, it's great. And it's nice to see, the youngins of you showing up. And Space Carl for 67 months. Thank you so much, everybody. If you are subbing on Twitch this month, I believe there are deals to be had. All you got to do is, I think if you have Twitch Prime, you can save on gift subs. And I think that there's also first sub is half off, but also Twitch Prime, you just have a built-in free sub. As long as you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. As long as you have Twitch Prime, you have a built-in free sub you can give to anybody. And they still get the money from having a sub, but you didn't have to pay anything to do that. So, that's it. We will see you again on... I know that right now, Play It Forward is not on the schedule. That's because James was playing it a little by ear, I think, to see if I was actually getting close to the end. Since we're doing a third half of Chapter 6 and there's more chapters to come, I'll have to let him know that we're going to have to either explode that out to more sessions. We'll see what happens. But Play It Forward has been on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, starting at 2000 hours Pacific. That's 8 o'clock p.m. if you need to figure that out. And we will just continue along until everything changes and we can't do that, or until I'm done the game. So I want you all to stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside if you can. Some of you do have to go to work. I understand that. But get that vaccination if it's in your area. And if it isn't, hang in there. Sounds like we're starting to open up more ways to get vaccines out into the world. I'm looking forward to that. Apparently Canada is sitting on an awful lot of doses. And we're taking a little heat for that at the moment. And hopefully we're going to have all our doses rolled out. And that'll mean that we'll be able to roll more doses out to the rest of the world. I'm not sure how they're doing that yet, but God, I want to get that. Come on, aim for 100%. We got to get 100%. It'd be so good. But thank you. Take care. And I will go offline now. Good night.